the chair of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Will it be Tim Hogan? It's going to be Christopher DeMary at the line.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Pit Stop TV. This is Xander Cardinale in the booth with Brennan Elshoff right alongside of me as always. And Brennan, first off, got to thank you for doing what you do, helping me out. We are back in the desert for the final time this weekend, at least, in Sin City. And tonight, we get to see these Cup cars around Las Vegas. Brennan, these cars are bad fast, but also bad loose. What are you expecting here tonight?
Well, I think it's going to be almost quite opposite of what we saw last night. Last night, a lot of grip on the track. Tonight, it's only 70 degrees outside, but the track temp's almost at 100 degrees, so the grip is definitely gone. And these cars are a bit more of a handle to begin with, so definitely, as you mentioned, pretty loose. I think we'll be seeing a lot of battling with that the rest of the whole night.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of really sideways cars coming out of turns 2 and 4. I did get a chance to run some laps here in the NIS race on Saturday morning. Didn't really get a great feel for the track, but I at least got a general idea of what's going to happen tonight. It's interesting, I'll say that much. In the corners, it's pretty decent. This stock setup, it's actually pretty okay, I'd say. It's not exactly too loose or too tight. Maybe even a little more to the tight side, if anything, just because you can't really get the right rear to grip like you want it to. Sorry, the right front to grip like you want it to, so it kind of pushes. It leans on the right side a little too much, pushes, which actually is a great thing in contrast to a lot of mile and a halves like last week at Atlanta. However, the one thing you will probably notice that will, I guess, cause the most wrecks, at least in my expectations, will be the front stretch apron, Brennan. We watched a lot of drivers use it last night, but tonight I think it's going to be more risky to go down there than it's worth.
It definitely, the transition and banking like that's really going to upset the cars, so maybe you can get away with it once or twice, but I would not try and push my luck with it.
Definitely, and real quick, we'll go through the top 10 in practice, maybe even the top 20, I think is what we've got about. But Mike Bruno is going to lead us through practice as we are now done with practice. Oh, man, I got it down. This is a great start, Brendan. Practice festivities are over for the night. That's where I was trying to get with that. Christopher Matthews will be just under 100th of a second right behind Bruno. Very, very close times up front. Alan Westman 3rd. Jared Beasley 4th. Spence Thompson in 5th. David Heise 6th. Jared Wishon 7th on the speed charts. PJ Popham in 8th. Terry Mason in 9th. And Michael Redding in 10th.
Alrighty, in 11th we have Bradley Wilson, followed by James McKee in 12th. 13th is going to be Clayton Kurtz. 14th going to Craig Lerman. 15th is going to be Matthew McMeekin. 16th will be Jason Burgess. 17th will be Jerry Glenn. 18th will be Trevor Harmon. 19th going to Derek Robinson. 20th, Robbie Buckner. And we have some other people that looks like they've joined after the practice, excuse me, wow, I'm doing it now too. After the end of practice, but we're in the driver's meeting right now.
And Robbie will not be racing, so we'll have 24 starters here tonight from Las Vegas unless someone comes in last minute. We did get Mark Broderick, Ryan Daniels, Zach Lindgren, Cody Spiker, and Aiden Young all into the session last second pretty much. They did not get a chance to put a time down, but Robbie Buckner will not be racing, so that's why we have 25 in the session. Robbie Buckner is an admin. He is the 25th car that won't actually be in the race. He just put down a practice time to kind of get an idea of what we'll be seeing on the track tonight. It's always a good thing to do that. And, you know, the biggest thing I think I noticed that's really interesting to me is the fact that we don't see a certain Tyler Justice in the field. iRacing did release a rather large update today, so that could play into why we don't see number 7 out here. But yeah, Brennan, I don't see Tyler Justice anywhere.
Yeah, I've noticed a few people were missing out too. Besides that, it seems like a little bit smaller of a field. I think everybody is just with the new update and getting that all squared away. Sometimes iRacing kind of weird when it goes to update. I've had updates before where it'll update at like 10 kilobytes a second, and it tells me I have days left to download it. And today I got lucky and it was done in about 15 minutes. So I think some people it's kind of hit and miss.
Yeah, I know a lot of guys definitely, downloaded it in 15, 20 minutes, and I myself, I think, took about half an hour. I was here with you for that, Brennan, and I know some guys have taken even longer. So, and actually, David Heise coming out of the corner sideways. That's a great testament to exactly how loose these cars will be. Now you see Christopher Matthews at turn 4, getting sideways on the speedway, going through the grass. This is a pretty good shot, actually, from the start-finish line, looking at turn 4, Brennan. I don't know if you can set that up yourself to focus on that part of the track, but this is, I think, a great shot, at least a good shot of as good of a shot as any, to see just how fast these guys are coming out of turn 4 and just how on edge they'll be all night. You can see a lot of drivers opting to stay up on the track and off of the banking, the apron. I don't know why I said banking. I am losing it, man. I promise you, I will fix this. I'll fix this at some point tonight. I'll get it through my head to start actually talking correctly. But actually, this gives me a good chance to check out the number 22. I want to see how this car looks because I painted it and I don't know how it looks yet. So I just wanted to see it on the track, and yeah, there it is. Not a big deal. Just wanted to see how Cody Spiker's car looked. We are heading into qualifying, though, Brennan, so we'll try and, let's see, who should we pick? Last week's winner, actually, was Spence Thompson, so we'll pick Spence Thompson. We'll try and watch his qualifying time. Brendan, what do you think, or who do you think gets the pole here tonight?
I'm gonna say, that was a good one. I do see Tyler Justice in the field now, so it's almost tempting to pick him, but I think I'm gonna have to go with Bruno.
So Tyler Justice possibly coming into the race last second, but looks like he'll stick with Bruno. I think, let's see, I forget who you picked last night. Was it Bruno?
To win?
Yeah.
I think, yeah. I did pick him.
Well, I'm going to have to go with my pick that you and I talked about last night. That's going to be it should be the 18, but he will be in the number 20. That's going to be Bradley Wilson, owner of WFL Motorsports. And again, like I said, should be in the 18. We'll fix that by next week. But he will be in the 20 car tonight, so you can watch out for him in that number. I think he might have what it takes to win here tonight. I don't know why. I just kind of have a feeling about him. So we'll see how each of those drivers do. Again, you can watch out for them. Actually, 19 and 20, so that kind of works out nicely. Excuse me, man. McDonald's burps. They're something. Mike Bruno in the 19 and Bradley Wilson in the 20. And actually, Spence Thompson comes across the line. He'll go to second quick on the board so far. Bradley Wilson into third quick. Mike Bruno currently on the pole, Brennan.
Yes, I think we were pretty wise with our picks there.
I mean, you can't really go wrong with guys like Mike Bruno and Bradley Wilson. No matter what track we're at, they'll generally have at least some sort of speed. So it's hard to go wrong with those two, to be fair. Spence Thompson comes back around, completes his second lap on the Speedway. He jumps, actually no, he stays in second place, sorry. Chris Matthews has actually jumped up to third and unseated Bradley Wilson at the number 20. And you mentioned it, Tyler Justice and Gordon Larson Jr. now coming into the race. Gordon Larson Jr., your defending champion on Tuesday nights. They were different cars last year, though. We'll mention that. But the same kind of premise. Very little downforce in the cars, very fast tracks, and based on the real schedule going to places like Las Vegas, Mid-Ohio. Actually, no, Mid-Ohio not this year. We'll have Sonoma in its place. But yeah, it should still be a very similar series in that you kind of just have to be really, really careful with the throttle throughout the entire race. These cars are still really, really loose, so we'll see what happens. Looking through the field a little bit, we've got guys finishing up in their qualifying times, but it's looking like Mike Bruno may have the pole.
Looking like it. That's a pretty hot time for him there at 29.315. Spence Thompson not too far behind him with the 29.366. Then we start to trail off into the 29.4s. So yeah, I don't know if anybody else will have anything for him.
Mark Broderick, I think, is finishing up his qualifying times, coming around the Speedway. Tyler Justice actually is on the track. He's getting his qualifying lap down. He's sideways out of turn 2. That was a heck of a catch. Looks like he may back it down and regroup for another shot at it. Gordon Larson Jr. now working his way around the Speedway as well. Well, Brendan, real quickly, and then we're going to take just a small break. We'll leave qualifying up on your screen. But let's run through the top 10. We've got Mike Bruno currently on pole with just a couple of bullets left in the chamber for the rest of the field to go up there and beat him. We'll see if that happens here. I think Gordon Larson Jr. may be the last shot. Looks like he won't do it. We will leave this screen up, but at least currently Mike Bruno on pole. Spence Thompson in second place. Christopher Matthews third. Jared Beasley fourth. Bradley Wilson in fifth. And for the rest of the top 10, Brennan, it's all to you.
Alrighty, we have PJ Popham in sixth, followed by Jared Bashan in seventh. Eighth is going to be James McKee. Ninth going to Zach Lindgren. And 10th is going to be Michael Redding.
And we'll quickly flip through the rest of the field here. You can see, actually, there was a change up in the top 10. We'll go back to that in a second. You can see the rest of these guys in the field. Redding, Burgess, Lerman, Larson, Young, Daniel, Spiker, McMeekin, Heiza, and Harmon. And even more here on the last page. Kurtz, Glenn, Robinson, Mason, Broderick, Westman will round out the field. Looks like 26 cars now will take the green flag. We'll bring up your top 10 once more. We will be right back. We'll leave the results right here. Don't you go anywhere. This is Pit Stop TV with coverage of the NMNTS BA Graphix Cup Series. Welcome back, race fans, to the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Sorry for that little break. We just had to attend to something real quick, but we are back and ready to go. And Brennan, Mike Bruno, gonna sweep the poles here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway.
Yeah, kind of what we expected. He had a really good, quick qualifying time or practice time, excuse me. So I expect to see him probably in the top 5 there, and back to back for him here at Las Vegas.
Yeah, and that certainly means good things for the number 19. Didn't see him get to close it out last night in the Truck Series, but he certainly has a pretty good shot here tonight. Brendan, whenever you're ready, I'll let you pull him up and we'll get this thing going.
Hey, Mike, it's Brennan up here in the PSI booth. You got a copy?
10-4, bud, I got you.
Well, we're getting to talk to you again for the pole position 2 nights in a row. How's that feel for you?
Oh, feels awesome, man. I was surprised I got it tonight. I got real tight off 4, but I'll take it, bud.
Yeah, so kind of describe for everybody here what's different between a truck and the Cup car here.
You really got to drive these things. It's not full throttle. They're tight and then they're snappy loose. So it's in my opinion, it's a lot more fun. But yeah, it definitely takes a lot more skill and patience for sure.
It definitely is. So tonight, any overall, like, I guess I ask you this just about every time, and I think you guys kind of do the same thing. You just play it by ear, but any strategy wise for the last run or anything like that?
I hate to say it again, man, but
Yeah.
just same deal, brother. Nothing yet.
Yeah, just a little bit of time filler there. Andrew, anything you'd like to add?
Well, I mean, not a whole lot. Did a pretty good job there, Brennan. But man, you're on pole for the second night in a row, Bruno. Obviously, you got something figured out here, but at least to qualify good, and we see you do it at more than just Las Vegas Motor Speedway. So, how do you do it? How do you be so much faster than these guys for at least a couple of laps to transfer over to the race?
Honestly, I don't know if it's the way I do it. I'll tell you a little trick. I go into the corner, I don't use my brake, and I just let it roll through instead of going in real hard and then braking. I don't know if that helps that much, but it seems to be working for me.
That certainly sounds like something that hopefully there weren't too many drivers tuned in for, so they don't maybe hear your secrets. Don't want to spill too much. But no, I think that's definitely a good little bit of information for anybody who could use some help, because we also have drivers that just race on their own that come in and watch these races, thankfully. So they might get a little bit of help from that. So that's an awesome piece of advice. But Mike, best of luck to you tonight. Is there anyone that you want to give a shout out to for making it happen in that number 19? And what's your expectations for that number 19 after 162 laps here tonight?
Yeah, for sure. Want to give a shout out to SimSpec, Silvaga as always, and my team, MR Motorsports. And I just want to be there at the end, man. Hopefully lead all the laps, if not the last one, and try and get this thing and take it home.
Sounds good. Well, we'll let you get back down there with your Evil Outlaw Motorsports teammates. Best of luck to you in that number 19.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
And back-to-back nights goes to the number 19, at least for the pole award. So good to see Mike pick up that second pole award. Pole award, yes. Oh, man. Pole award. Guys, I promise I am working on it. I am trying, but I am having issues tonight. Tell you what, though, I got some Szechuan sauce from McDonald's, and that was worth it. That might be messing me up. I don't know. But definitely, see if you can get some of that from your local McDonald's. Please sponsor me, McDonald's. I would love it. Please. Yes? Maybe? Anyways, we'll just be waiting for these guys to roll over. I think that was a pretty good interview from Mike, just saying, or giving that little piece of advice to anybody who may need it. Again, we do have drivers that don't race in these leagues that could use that help. Just coming back here in the future. Obviously, Las Vegas Week is done in the NASCAR or in the iRacing official races, but it could be a really good tip for the future. So I like that. Well, Brennan, as we get ready for the race, we'll go through the top 15. Brennan, give us the top 10 real quick, and we'll get this show rolling on the grid.
Alrighty, in row number 1, we have Mike Bruno on the pole, followed by Spence Thompson, who's outside in second. Row 2 is going to be Christopher Matthews in third, with Jared Beasley to his outside in fourth. Fifth place in row 3 will be Bradley Wilson, with PJ Popham to his outside in sixth. Row 4 is going to be Jared Washon in seventh, with James McKee to his outside in eighth. Row number 5 will be Tyler Justice on the inside in ninth, Zach Lindgren in 10th to his outside.
And for the rest of your top 15, we'll have Michael Redding and Jason Burgess alongside each other, a couple of teammates there on row number 6. Followed up by row number 7, consisting of a couple more teammates with each other at least, Craig Lerman and Gordon Larson Jr. from HRL Motorsports. And finally, we'll have Aiden Young, who will actually be alongside of his friend, who is communicating with Ryan Daniels. And we'll go through the rest of the grid as these guys get ready to pull off. Well, Brennan, as I flash up the rest of these grid positions, should be a pretty good race. I was talking with Bradley Wilson about the stages and how they'll be split up tonight, and as long as it holds true, which I imagine it would, I believe we've got 2 40-lap stages for the first couple of stages at least, followed by just a run to the finish. I think it'll be 82 laps to lap 162. Should be a pretty good race. There should be some strategy involved here tonight. What do you expect these guys to do in that last stage?
Honestly, I think you just kind of gotta play it by ear, as Mike Bruno tends to say a lot when I ask him this question all the time. But you know, see if maybe you can get a caution break and anything like that, and then take your tires there. Hopefully, it's about halfway through the split, that last little stage, and if not, you maybe try and break it up a little bit. Other than that, though, I think it's just pray for a caution about halfway or a little bit after maybe, and then if not, I think we'll definitely see some green flag pit stops. It'll just be, I don't know, I think when the leader goes, everybody else will go in that case then.
Yeah, I think whenever we do get some green flag pit stops tonight, that's exactly right. We'll see the leader kind of make the first move, or at least somebody in the first little bit of the field make the first move, and it'll be a reactionary pit stop by everyone else to come in. I don't think we'll see too much moves from the back end, but we were proven wrong last week. We saw some moves, at least from HRL Motorsports and other teams, to try and come in early, short pit the leaders and see what they could do. That's not a bad strategy, but tonight I don't know. It doesn't feel like there's exactly the same kind of feel with the tire wear as there was last week at Atlanta. Last week's winner was Spence Thompson. He's on the outside row. Brennan, it's to you for the green. They're coming right to you.
Alrighty. Pace car's getting ready to dip in. It does. We have to wait for the green flag here. And we're underway here. Good start by both Bruno and Thompson. Bruno's going to pull away just a little bit. Actually, he's going to start to pull away a lot. Now Spence, maybe not the greatest start for him. Beasley's going to get stuck right behind him. The 92 of Christopher Matthews now is going to be P2. Spence Thompson to third. Wilson in fourth and Beasley in fifth.
Off into turns 3 and 4 for the first time tonight. It's Mike Bruno in control. Christopher Matthews trying to keep up and actually trying to get by Spence Thompson. Spence Thompson going to get the run out of turn 4. Going to have the run on Chris. He's going to clear him by the line. A little further back, Jared Beasley got the wall out of turn 4 already, so a bad race, or a bad start to the race at least, for the driver of the number 15 out of Mobile, Alabama.
He's kind of had a tough break. He had that, I believe it was last week, the incident he had where he just spun it on the restart, and that ended his night there, so a little bit of early contact already for him. He's just kind of had a rough couple of weeks here.
Yeah, he's had quite a few rough races recently. I believe he had a bit of a rough night at the Bull Ring as well a couple of nights ago, Sunday night in the super late model race. So he's had a rough little time recently, but further back, Zach Lindgren, the winner from the Truck Series at Atlanta, didn't get a chance to back it up the following night, but he was certainly running pretty good, trying to battle for the lead at one point in the first stage at Atlanta in the Cup race, and he did pretty good last night as well. Didn't get the win. little behind him, Jimmy McKee, pretty quiet driver, keeps to this series alone in the NMNTS Racing Series. And what do you got for him here, Brendan?
Well, so far I've seen he's electing to choose way kind of the higher line here. The only other person I've seen really running up that high would be PJ Popham, a couple cars ahead of him. But now he kind of mixes me up here for 3 and 4. He's going to dive it down low. Maybe just like a momentum thing in between the corners, just building up momentum for the front stretch.
And you know, when I did that little bit of NIS racing the past week, I did run sometimes multiple different lines throughout the corners. I would start the lap maybe on the bottom side, then in 3 and 4. Oh,
Beasley in
the wall. He's going to get Zach.
Catch the 85.
Lingered in the wall hard. He's going to come down to get Redding. A huge wreck down the back straightaway. Was Sean involved? Cody Spiker, McMeekin get through. But Zach Lindgren, Michael Redding going to fall victim. I think Jerry Glenn as well. He's got a ton of damage to the number 14. Really unfortunate. Gordon Larson Jr. as well. Man, you hate to see that. You hate to see that so early in the race. It's only lap number 5. Now lap number 6 as the leaders have come by, but it's so early in the race. You hate to see that. One little mistake out of one guy, and you have all these cars torn up already. Oh, Ryan Daniels too, and he's already not having a good night. Even before the drop of the green flag, wasn't having the greatest night. Mark Broderick has front-end damage. Terry Mason, I think, at least got through. I think Clayton Kurtz did as well. We'll keep checking these guys. Looks like Trevor Harmon fared decently. Man, what an unfortunate break for these guys so early in the race, Brennan.
It definitely not quite what you're looking for when it comes to, you know, a good start for a lot of these guys. As I mentioned, just one little mix up there. Beasley unfortunately caught the wall again, just bounced him off of it, tagged the 85, and just, you know, cars going everywhere there. Not really a great spot for anyone to try and go, and I collected a couple more guys.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really fine art to come out of turns 2 and 4, and at least at this track, when you're running the top line so early in the race before you have the rhythm down and not hit the wall. You saw Jared Beasley get the wall there. He slid for a second, caught the 85 of Zach Lindgren. Thought maybe it would stop there. He came down in front of Redding and Washawn, just nowhere for them to go. Washawn actually spun trying to get on the binders and not kill the 85 car. So he was actually trying to avoid the incident, and he got caught up in it because of that. Really unfortunate to see this happen. Again, it was only lap 5 when we see so many good cars torn up.
Yeah.
Going to look back now at Ryan Daniels and see exactly what happened to him under this caution to get all this damaged on that number 52 Gale Toyota machine. You see him going to the apron trying to avoid this wreck, and I'm sure he's just not going to have anywhere to go. Yeah, I think when the smoke cleared, he just had nowhere to go but into Michael Redding. Kind of an interesting choice though by him though to go to the bottom side and go onto the apron to try and miss that one. Yeah, no, when the smoke cleared, the white car of Michael Redding was just there. He had nowhere to go. Really sucks to see all these cars torn up so early, and I just had a feeling this race maybe would go green for a long time, like last night started out. The entire stage, or entire first stage in last night, went green flag. And that's definitely not the case here tonight, Brennan. Has anyone parked their cars?
Let me get pit lane here, see. So far, 32's in the pits. I think he's just getting service. A lot of guys just coming back around, it looks like. The 32 is in the pits, stopped. What else do we have here? The 51 of Jared Rashawn has not left the pits, I don't think, yet. I think
Man,
he's
and he
repairing damage as well. Yep.
He had such a great run last night, Brennan. You and I documented it a bunch. He's been struggling to get up to speed, and I mean he's done a great job of it so far. But last night was really a breakthrough night for him. He ended up finishing 3rd place in the NMNTS SimSpec Championship Series race here. And really sucks to see him have this kind of a start to the night. Zach Lindgren, too. After the rough weekend he had at Atlanta, well, I shouldn't say rough weekend, but rough race he had at Atlanta following his win in the Truck Series, to come out here and kind of follow that up with a big wreck already. Lap number 5, and the whole right side of that IRAPS Toyota is torn up.
Yeah, definitely a tough break for a lot of guys.
Back up to the front, though, we will have a couple of familiar faces surrounding the 8 car of Jimmy McKee. He's familiar to at least myself and Pit Stop TV, but he's a little bit newer to this league. Good to see him out here taking a stab at the series. He's currently in the lead by virtue, I believe, of staying out under this caution. He's got a couple of laps led now by virtue, again, of the caution and staying out. Pretty good chance for him to see what he can do. Only a few laps on the tires, and he'll be restarting first. Again, he has control of when to restart this race, Brendan, so could be a really good shot to at least get some TV time.
Yeah, definitely. Should be able to pull a little bit away. I don't think the tire wear is going to be too much of a factor here, so he should be able to hold his ground pretty well.
And as these guys exit turns 3 and 4, it's Jimmy McKee in first place, Mike Bruno to his outside, Spence Thompson third, Bradley Wilson fourth, and they're off and away. Jimmy McKee gets the race underway. Didn't really get a good jump on Mike Bruno. Got a decent one, though, on all of row number 2. Here comes Tyler Justice looking to the outside of Spence Thompson. Spence shuts the door. Now he's looking to the bottom side.
Tyler's going to try and shove his nose under there. Not quite going to get it to work. Spence catching right up to Bruno, though. McKee maybe just doesn't quite have the speed. Bruno's going to go ahead and clear him here. Spence going to try and do the same thing on the outside.
And a pretty easy pass there for both the 19 and the 89, sorry. They should work right on by the number 8, and we should see Tyler Justice follow suit. The 8 car staying out on those tires, just not going to have the speed that the rest of these guys have. Now Bradley Wilson gets to work on him, and here comes PJ Popham.
It's almost completely is going to contradict what I thought. I didn't think, just about 5 laps on him was going to play such a huge role, but he's struggling for position right now.
Yeah, he's going to be within the clutches of his teammate. No, sorry, not his teammate. I was thinking PJ Popham. He's going to be falling to the clutches of Craig Lerman, rather, here pretty soon, and that should take him completely out of the lead battle. But I mean, if a caution was to come out now, it'd still be a pretty decent deal for him, at least, to get some track position. We saw a big bobble out of both Bradley Wilson and Tyler Justice out of that corner, though. As I look further through the field, I notice a bit of a 3-car battle here. 4 cars, actually. Even 5, sorry. They weren't in frame at first, but Clayton Kurtz is right in the midst of a couple battles. A few cars right in front of him. One of his affiliated teammates, actually no, one of his teammates, I believe. Trevor Harmon battling with Matthew McMeekin. He's now working on Mark Broderick on the bottom side. Chris Matthews behind him. Another one of his teammates in Terry Mason. A couple cars behind him as well, and some action going on further back in the field.
Yeah, mixing it up again. Another one I mentioned and kind of doing the same thing he did last night would be Broderick. He started way back, didn't even really put down a time really at all, and he's already starting to work his way up a little bit. Actually, he's a lap down, it looks like. Yeah,
no, he was involved in that wreck. He's got a ton of front-end damage. He's actually going backwards really quick. I didn't think it was going to be this serious on the 32. But, man, yeah, it's a good thing you brought him up because he is going backwards, actually. He's got some serious... I didn't think it was going to be that bad, but he's got some serious damage. The only driver behind him would be Zach Lindgren, who's currently in the pits, I believe, and that he is. I think he's probably calling it done for the night, at least for a little while. Back up to the front, though, Mike Bruno still has the lead over his teammate in Tyler Justice. Brendan, how long do you think it's going to take for Tyler Justice to catch him, if he can catch him at all?
He worked his way through Spence and Brad and McKee pretty well. but obviously Bruno's a tougher nut to crack here. I think he is starting to gain just a little bit of time on him. Tyler just knows some way to really just push everything he can get out of this car here, and I think it won't be too long here before we see him nose to tail.
Yeah, I would guess we'll probably see Tyler catch that 19 in another 5 to 10 laps. Just enough time for the tires to really come in. I think Tyler's far, far better in these cars than he is in the trucks now that the aero package on the trucks have been totally changed. We've seen a bunch of updates to the trucks actually in recent weeks, and I think that's really kind of playing into seeing a few more struggles out of Tyler Justice than we're used to, and seeing a bit more successes in contrast here in the Cup Series for Tyler.
Yeah, definitely. Although it's really good opportunity for some other guys to have an opportunity to be in the spotlight like that. So kind of an even playing field within the new package, as he mentioned.
Further back, 9th place, we've got the number 22 of Cody Spiker starting to work up towards Craig Lerman in the 43. Brendan, he's one of the newcomers as well. He came over from the same bit of real estate as Jimmy McKee, Cody Spiker from the All-Star Sim Racing group, I guess, as they actually had their dirt race tonight. I'm not sure where. I think it's actually going right now, but he's from a totally different kind of atmosphere, really. Over at All-Star Sim Racing, they're a lot more relaxed, a lot more laid back, a lot less drama, but that can all be good in the right amounts over here, and I think he's just taking a little bit to get acclimated. We saw him drive really, really smoothly and really, really good last week at Atlanta, but we'll see how he does tonight. I know he's a little bit shaken up just from, coming in with very, very little practice. It'll be interesting to see how that number 22 fares the rest of the way.
Yes, he's getting ready to navigate past Michael Redding here, the slow lap traffic car there. Ton of damage for him.
As we go through some more drivers a little further back in the field, Trevor Harmon has a pretty good run going. We saw David Heiza as well. Matthew McMeekin in 12th, actually, amidst the battle with Jason Burgess, Chris Matthews, and Alan Westman.
Up ahead, we have a new leader here. Tyler Justice just moved right around the outside on Mike Bruno there to secure the lead.
I didn't even notice that. It's a good call there. I didn't expect Tyler to already get to him, so that's kind of interesting to see him already be there and working on by him. Tyler Justice already back into the lead, picking up where he sometimes leaves off, and I will say this kind of connects back to Atlanta in the Cup Series race where he was doing so well. He almost had the race in the bag, I think, until an incident with Craig Lerman. Later found out that was just netcode. There was no real fault involved on either side, and it really ended up just causing the 7 to never really be a factor after that. He had a ton of damage. There was no caution. He just had no chance to even try to get back into it, and it's cool to see him kind of pick up after that all happened, and we'll see if he can close out on tonight because we still have a long ways to go.
Yeah, definitely. We're only at lap 23 now. One thing I'm noticing between difference between him and his teammate is Tyler's kind of Larson lining it pretty high up, just outside of what's already been rubbered in, and then you have Bruno who's electing to stay kind of in the middle towards the low side. Right now it looks like it's working out pretty well for Tyler.
Yeah, I think Tyler is definitely a lot more comfortable going out of his usual comfort zone, seeing what he can do, seeing what he can find, and trying to find grip. Mike Bruno kind of just likes to stay with what he's got and what he knows to be fast. I do want to welcome in everybody watching over on YouTube. We've got 10 of you, and that's pretty good, actually, with how YouTube usually is. Unfortunately, the one viewer we had earlier on Twitch has gone away. Hopefully they come back. And we currently have 12 over on Facebook, so not too bad of a night for being a little bit late to getting going, but definitely appreciate the support we get day in, day out, week in, week out, month in, month out here at Pit Stop TV. I know Brennan and I both, again, really, really appreciate it. We love what we're doing here, and hopefully it only grows in the coming months. Well, Brennan, as these guys get settled into the first stage, we've got 15 laps to go as of this past time around the start-finish line, coming to 14 to go in stage number 1. What are you seeing through the field, if anything?
So far the closest battle I can really see is between Trevor Harmon and Terry Mason, and Derek Robinson kind of there, along with he's behind him. Excuse me. Oh, it's 32. Yeah. Okay, that's why I couldn't figure out. Sorry. He's kind of hanging in there now. Not really slowing down too much behind him, but everybody else really, there's actually a little bit of battle behind him as well.
Yeah, I saw a bit of a bobble out of turn 2 from Alan Westman as he was going by Jared Wishon and Gordon Larson Jr. We'll mention Zach Lindgren now back on the raceway, is turning some laps, trying to close out tonight at least with what he can. Ryan Daniels, I believe, is still out on the track doing what he can as well.
Yeah, Ryan at the moment is the last one on the lead lap here, so let's see if he can hold on to that. He's about 25, 26 seconds now behind to the leader, so it won't be too long until they catch up to him. So maybe he can get a lucky break and get a caution here.
Yeah, and even if they lap him, as long as he isn't a lap down for too long, as long as they don't catch anyone else, he will still have a chance to get a lap back and continue to race on the lead lap, maybe get some more damage fixed, and go back out there and have a slightly faster car and not go a lap down in stage number 2. So we'll see how that works out for the 52 car.
Other than that, though, it's kind of what we predicted. Everyone's kind of really starting to space themselves out here. Just kind of a little bit more difficult to drive these than it was with the trucks, where you could really pack in together. So not really too much going on.
Well, I figured we could use this chance to check out something new that I know you like, Brennan. For at least as long as I can remember on the simulator, we haven't been able to check out what gear these guys are in, or their RPMs or anything like that on their dash. Well, that's now changed with iRacing's new update today, March 6th. They added that as a new feature. I'm not sure if it was there before. I haven't been on the simulator for too many years, but I know it wasn't there, at least as far as I've been on the simulator, and it's a pretty cool change. We can now see the RPMs here on PJ Popham's dash, and I'll even switch to Aiden Young for the first time and see what he's got. He's currently running in 7th, so Brennan, how excited are you for that?
I don't know. It's a really good feature. I think it kind of, brings the broadcast a little bit more towards the real world. Obviously, it kind of looks a little funny showing the driver. Can't really see it in this car, but other cars were like the for example, the Mercedes, when we did the 24 broadcast, it showed us in reverse the whole time with no RPM or anything. So brings some realism in, and I really like the way they've presented it. It looks really clean. It updates really well, so it's not real choppy, which is one thing I was kind of worried about. But overall, I'm really happy with it.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think it was going to be any kind of difficult thing, considering we already could bring up something that I have here. It's an RPM gauge in the bottom left, and you can check that out when it comes up on your end, Brendan. But I already had that, so I figured, the telemetry is available. It wouldn't be that hard to get into the actual simulator. Now you can see it is a standard feature. As we switch gears, though, kind of a funny thing to say to get off of that topic, Ryan Daniels has now gone a lap down. Michael Redding, I believe, is now behind the wall, possibly done for the night. Ryan Daniels just letting these guys go on by. He knows he's got a really damaged Yale Toyota Camry, and yeah, just letting these guys go by for now, not really putting up any kind of challenge. I'm curious to see if the leaders will catch up to anyone. Trevor Harmon is already lapped down, so Jerry Glenn would be the next one that the leaders would catch up to. And he certainly is not moving at any fast rate of speed, at least relatively to the rest of the field, so they could catch up to him by the time this stage is over.
Yeah, an update for the Michael. Looks like he dropped connection, so I think he was trying to keep it out there as long as he could, but some internet gremlins plaguing him tonight.
And actually, thank you for the clarification on the 03, but I'm watching the 14, and he's dog walking it. I don't know if you can bring up like the far chase camera for you, since like, you just had the stock camera package, but he's kind of dog walking that car around here. That's definitely got to be unsettling for a driver at a track this fast and this hard to drive to literally have the rear axle skewed a bit right now.
It's almost set up kind of like a dirt car, which is not going to help you very much on the asphalt.
No, definitely. That means he's already turning too far. It means he's going to be even looser than he might have already been. That's got to be rough to deal with. I feel bad for Jerry having to run with that right now.
Yeah, well, hopefully he can hold on to her. See him get it a little bit loose coming off the corner there. It's been doing that. Hopefully he can scrap something together here for maybe a couple points. Come towards the end of the race.
Yeah, he's currently in 20th, just ahead of leader Tyler Justice. We'll see if he can hang on to this spot. For Ryan Daniels' sake, I hope he can, but it's the future isn't looking too bright for that case. I think it's a little more bleak for the 52. I think the 7 will get there here in a couple of laps and get him. It is going to be tough, though. Actually, the gap isn't really closing as much as I thought it would. Tyler may not get there.
Yeah, it will be close. Wish kind of had the live telemetry so I could tell the gap between them. He's 30 seconds back the last lap here. This time by 30.6, so about a half second, a little over half second a lap. So I don't know if he'll quite have it.
Yeah, I don't think he will. It's already lap 39. Now what we have to watch out for is if the 32, if Mark Broderick catches up to Ryan Daniels, that's the next thing that Ryan has to worry about, is if he gets passed by the 32 car. It doesn't look like he will, at least not just yet, but he's got to be careful, because if he gets passed by Broderick, he's going to lose that lucky dog spot. And I think Broderick is actually starting to catch up to him a little bit. Actually, no, he's still got plenty of room. I thought they were closer than they are. That's my bad there. But white flag is out on the stage, Brennan, coming through turns 1 and 2. Tyler Justice still your leader. He actually might catch Jerry Glenn here on this last lap. Mike Bruno in second. Spence Thompson now through to third place. That puts PJ Popham into fourth. Actually, I think they were already in that order. But in fifth place, we've got Jimmy McKee. He worked back by Bradley Wilson. Bradley Wilson now falling victim to Aiden Young. Aiden Young up to sixth place. And across the line, that is the end of stage number 1. Tyler Justice from Alabama takes it home.
Yep. Stage 1 winner there. Good news for Ryan to not make it past Jerry Glenn there. Second, though, we're going to have Mike Bruno. Third's going to be Spence Thompson. Fourth, PJ Popham. And fifth is going to be James McKee for stage 1.
And following Jimmy McKee, will be Aiden Young in the number 9 car. Bradley Wilson loses a couple of spots right there at the end of stage number 1, falls to 7th place. Craig Lehrman 8th. Cody Spiker makes the top 10 in 9th. Christopher Matthews makes it back up into the 10th position. Well, Brennan, we didn't get a chance to talk about it before the race too much anyway. We mentioned the weather really briefly. I know you like to talk about it a lot at the start of the race, so I'm totally backtracking in my mind and realizing that we did talk about it a little bit now, but this track is 1.5 miles in length. It is in Las Vegas, Nevada. Normally, it might be a little bit warm here in Las Vegas, and I think when we come back in September, it will be just that. However, here in March, I almost said February, here in March, it's quite a bit cooler. Track temp, only 95 degrees, and I think it was actually hotter before the race started, Brendan.
Yeah, for me, when I loaded in, track temp was 98, so yeah, cool off just a couple of degrees.
And that's actually going to be good news for the drivers. We are 2,000 feet above sea level here in Las Vegas. The air temp is 68 degrees with 55% humidity. Forecast, as you can see, is nice and clear. No clouds to be found in the Nevada desert.
Tyler Justice is going to be the first one off the pits, followed by Spence Thompson, then PJ Popham, Mike Bruno, Aiden Young, and then the 8 of Jimmy McKee.
You mentioned it, Tyler Justice wins the race off of the pit lane. He, again, is our stage number 1 winner. We'll get to key him up, as I'm not sure if he's got any more stage wins in this series this year. Actually, no, he won stage 1 last week at Atlanta, didn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
So picking up where he left off last week at least. Hopefully he can actually close it out. He was pretty close at Atlanta. We'll see if he can do it tonight. We'll bring him in. It's Tyler Justice, number 7. Tyler Justice, this is Andrew Cardinale in the PSI TV booth. Do you have a copy?
Yes, sir. I got you, Andrew.
Well, Tyler, for a bit, we thought you weren't going to show up, and we thought maybe we'd get a new Dominator here tonight, but Mr. Excitement right back into the lead. You won stage number 1. How'd you do it?
Well, yeah, like you said, we're late to the show here for a little bit. We're doing an update, so barely made it to put down a qualifying lap, so we didn't have any practice time, but we still qualified ninth, so that was pretty good, and we kind of felt out the track there once we went green, and made our way up to the front, and it's a real slick track out here tonight, so it's going to be really loose the rest of the way, but just going to have to save the tires, and with a hot and slick track like this, normally, you know, if you want to save tires, you think about backing off and just kind of not pushing as hard, but to be honest, when it's slick like this, if you just kind of coast it into the corner and not give it a lot of wheel input, that can go a long way about saving your stuff, so hopefully we can do that the rest of the way and maybe finish one off here tonight.
Yeah, we'll definitely watch him to see what you can do. You had a couple of bad breaks last week at Atlanta, both in the truck race and the cup race. Tell us about how you're trying to bounce back from that and try and get a good run here to redeem yourself.
Yeah, we've been running well, just haven't backed up to have the finishes that we want to, and that was the kind of the story for me last year. We started off strong and we're dominating the races, but we weren't picking off any wins at the beginning of the season. So I don't know, maybe it's just a phase, but hopefully we can close the deal here tonight.
Well, you've already got 24, now almost 25 laps led. Like you said, you started 9th and you're all the way up to 1st by the end of stage 1. Do you think you can get it done for stage number 2?
Maybe so. We'll see here. I just, you know, can't push it too hard or you'll fall back like a rock here. So we'll see what we can do and maybe get us another stage win.
Best of luck to you trying to get that 2nd stage win of the night. You've got Mike Bruno just a couple of spots behind you, so we'll see what you two can do here on this restart.
All right, I appreciate it.
Again, Tyler Justice, your stage number 1 winner. He'll be restarting from 1st place. Spence Thompson, one of his biggest competitors when it comes to picking up wins in this series, no matter what the series is, will be to his outside. PJ Popham, looking to be a bit of an explosive driver, actually. Let's see if he can storm up to the front. Aiden Young going to be behind him on the bottom lane again. Mike Bruno will be just a couple of spots behind Tyler, but on the outside line. Well, Brendan, they're coming to you for the restart. Tyler Justice in control. Spence Thompson again to his outside. Lead us this restart here. The Simpspec Chevrolet coming your way.
Alrighty. Ace car getting ready to make its dive in. Tyler can go any point from here he wants to. And he goes pretty much right away. Spence not really with a great restart again tonight. Not really having the best. Bruno's going to get right up nose to tail with him. PJ Popham actually not with a great start either. Tyler's already 3, 4, 5 car lengths ahead of everybody now.
Tyler Justice already with a huge lead, like you mentioned, Brendan. And he is just storming away, trying to take over stage number 2 as well as stage number 1. Mike Bruno trying to fall into 3rd. Looks like he's going to work the top side right by PJ Popham by the time they exit turn 4. But Spence Thompson right on the back of the number 7.
Yeah, not really the best restart, but he bounced right back. He caught right back up to Tyler here. Let's see what he can do with him.
Spence is trying to work a bit of a higher line through turns number 1 and 2. We'll see if he dips low in 3 and 4, or if he stays high. He's going to dip right down to the bottom middle lane, try and work that bottom side a bit more than Tyler Justice, but Tyler's going to get the run out of 4, get a bit of a gap on him again by the start-finish line, and now Mike Bruno trying to work up to the 89.
PJ Popham not too far behind Bruno here as well. A really good sprint, I'd say, for just off the start, then kind of fell back just a little bit. Now he's starting to get back into his stride. Bruno's going to elect to go way down, almost completely down to the line right now. See if he can make up some speed on Spence Thompson.
We're currently on board with the driver of the number 9, Hope for Pause Ford Fusion. This is a pretty good view of the front battle here out of I guess, from the front end of Aiden Young. He's right behind PJ Popham in 4th, and it's just a good shot as far as what Mike Bruno was trying to do in 3rd place to try and catch Spence for 2nd. Now, Aiden Young with an aggressive move to the inside, not going to make it work, though.
Yeah, he dove it in there, tried to do a slider, kind of like we saw last night. Not going to quite work here, though. He pushed up a little bit and had to back it down. Going to try it again, though, here. This time he's going to get halfway through and completely cleared PJ this time, as PJ was way up on the very high line.
Yeah, I think these guys are kind of just running the line they're running for the sake of running it. And I say that because normally off the top line, PJ Popham never would have let that pass be made. I think they're running pretty much just up there to run up there, which is a bit odd because you didn't see the one car get any kind of run out of turn 2, and that's kind of the advantage to running the top side, is to get the run out of the corner to keep guys from passing on the bottom. So it was really intriguing to me to see the one, again, get no run out of the top line. It really looks like they're just running it to run it, and that's not the way you want to run this place.
Yeah, a little bit up ahead. Spence and Bruno now are going to be nose to tail pretty much. Bruno's still trying to way bottom side. Spence trying to go a little bit higher up, kind of where Tyler was coming towards the end of the stage there.
Yeah, Spence Thompson trying to hang on a second. He'll do it so far, but Mike Bruno is really there and trying to find a way around our pole sitter. Just can't find the way around Spence Thompson just yet, who is the outside pole sitter. So we'll see if he can do it out of 4. Can't even get close. But the 19 is still there in case anything happens to his Sovaga sponsor teammate in a way. It's interesting that these guys always find each other. It seems like, especially when they're in the Sovaga trucks, they always find a way back to each other, but right now they're running 2nd and 3rd. And actually, Mike got a pretty good run out of 4. He's right there. He's going to get the nose to the inside. Here comes Bruno looking for 2nd. I think he'll have it through 1 and 2. Seems like the bottom side is better than the top.
Spence back, though. He's going to drive her down the track, get some speed. Coming off the corner. Not going to work for Bruno this time.
Yeah, pretty good dirt track kind of exit out of turn number 2. Got him a good run to the back straightaway. And he's going to hang on to the spot. Good driving there by last week's winner, Spence Thompson, to hang on to 2nd.
Here comes Aiden Young, though, right behind Mike Bruno now. He's going to get his nose in the mix here.
Aiden Young back on the attack. We saw him work right by PJ Popham with an aggressive couple of moves to the bottom side. We'll see if he does anything of the sort on Mike Bruno. Mike Bruno, a totally different animal when you're trying to pass him than anyone really in this series. I think he rates right up there with the hardest to pass on iRacing. So now you're seeing Spence Thompson taking more precautionary measures, this time going to the bottom side to protect from the 19 of Mike Bruno, cutting off that air supply to the front end of that car and taking away some front downforce. That's certainly a good move if you're trying to protect the line. Just get in their way, take the air off their nose, and they won't be quite as, I guess, free to turn.
And all this battling for 2nd and 3rd here is really starting to let Tyler just start to walk away now, kind of getting into his own zip code, as we coined the term now for him. Bruno actually going to try and make a move on the inside again here. This time he might get it to stick here. He's almost halfway clear there. Going to take it down to the apron, see if he can scrub any speed out of it. Going to push up, though. That's the issue we were talking about earlier. Got a little bit loose. Still going to make it work, though. He's cleared Spence now.
Spence is going to
try and get a drive.
Yeah, he's going to have to work hard out of this corner. Not going to make it happen. Good call on that one, Brendan. Well, actually, he was loose out of the corner, Bruno was. But yeah, I was just going to say, he's going to have to work hard if Spence is going to get back to him. And Spence, unfortunately, couldn't make it work out of turn 2. But, Brendan, you're totally right. You're reading these guys perfectly right now. They're, man, I don't know. You've got it down. Just keep going. Keep talking.
We got Aiden Young now going to make the move on Spence here on the inside. See if he can do just like Mike. The good movie. You remember that one. 89 going to try and hold off here on the outside. He's getting the drive off here. Hasn't really had to push down towards the middle to defend on that one. Going to elect to move down a little bit. PJ Poppins getting pretty close now to putting his nose in the mix here as well. Come through the line now. Bruno's starting to check out on Spence though up ahead. He's starting to reel back in his teammate Tyler Justice.
And you know who's starting to catch up to these guys now is Jimmy McKee. We saw him go back on that restart a couple of restarts ago in the middle of stage number 1 when he stayed out to get track position. It worked out for him though. He didn't lose too many spots. Now he's right behind this battle for third. And Young back to the bottom side trying to make a pass. Won't have it just yet. Spence Thompson going to hang on to the outside. And I think Aiden might actually beat him to the line. I think he does. He does.
He beats him to the line. The issue Aiden was having that last move there is he kind of didn't really have any room to arc it into the corner there. He kind of put it down on the line. This time starting through the middle, going to clear him easily. This time Spence is going to try and make a move on the way back. Give him a little bumper maybe. He's just going to sit content there. PJ's going to be right on Spence's bumper now. Spence starting to move a little bit backwards.
Yeah, Spence Thompson starting to fall off a little bit. Certainly doesn't have the speed he had just a little bit ago. PJ Popham now working on the 89. 20 laps through stage number 2. And this is the longest run we've seen these guys go on, just about, or at least it will be if we go green from here. We saw the caution a little bit earlier in stage number 1 than we expected. It was lap number 5, and that really split things up. It was still a pretty decently long run from there, but they're going to have to work with even more worn tires at the end of stage number 2 than they had at the end of the previous stage. So it'll be, it'll be interesting to see how these guys do moving forward because they're entering some new territory, at least as far as tire wear goes. Jimmy McKee gets by PJ Popham now looking for 4th.
Popham gonna slow down a little bit. McKee a little loose on entry there. Gonna dive her down way down, almost to the line here. Trying to make a move on Spence. Spence just keeps the momentum from the high side. I think he's kind of doing that for tire wear here, Spence. Not really pushing too far down like the rest of the guys here to try and make moves past him. So I think Spence is kind of looking late stage here, late into the stage. Coming to just about there's gonna be 16 to go as they come to the line this time for stage 2.
For Spence's sake, I hope it works out for him because so far he's been going backwards. He hasn't really been hanging on to those tires. Seems like he's losing speed, but if it works out for him in these next 15 laps, it could be the move of the race later on, possibly. We'll have a green flag run, possibly, I keep saying possibly, to the end of the race from the end of stage number 2. We got 82 laps from there. At least about 5 of those will be taken up by the caution for the stage break, so they'll still have over 75 laps to go, and if that goes green, that could be something good to know for later on.
And you know, I mentioned it, Spence, he did decide to kind of bring it down a little bit. May have been just his window, the last 15 he thinks he wants to push. Now he goes back up as soon as I bring attention to it. I did gain a little bit of time on Aiden there, so I think he's got some tire left there. A little bit loose off of exit there. He's going to give Jimmy McKee a chance to try and run him down. Not quite enough though.
Yeah, McKee trying to work back up to Spence Thompson. Now PJ Popham going to work on the left side of the number 8. Doesn't get it done.
Got into the wall a little bit there actually. Slow him down some. Right front damage as well for him there.
And I want to look a little further back to the battle for about 7th place. Bradley Wilson right on the back end of Cody Spiker. Cody Spiker currently, like I said, in 7th place in the number 22. Right behind Wilson is actually going to be Craig Lerman in the 43 with his teammate David Heise. Actually, 2 of his teammates in David Heise and Alan Westman right behind him.
Lerman now right up against Bradley's bumper. They're coming towards the exit of the corner. Bit of a speed difference there. Bradley running the high side, going to get the speed coming off. Bradley starts high, comes down to about the middle. It seems like it's working for him. Lerman, though, is starting to gain on him here, even down the backstretch now, just about a car length and a half between them. Bradley up high. Lerman going to try and make a big move on the inside. Not going to quite make it stick so far. It usually takes a couple laps to make it work. Actually, here comes the 7-Eleven of David Heisen now. Right to the backside of Lerman. Cody Spiker up ahead for Bradley Wilson's within reach now. Gonna try and muscle his way around the outside here.
Ooh, loose out of the
contact
corner.
wall. Yep.
Bradley was real loose out of turn number 2. He's going to hang on to it, though, working the top side again, trying to get by the 22. He's going to get a nose to the outside. Almost 3 wide out of turn 4 is Craig Lerman now getting into the battle. He almost looks low of Cody Spiker, thinks better of it. He's going to back out. Here comes Wilson on the top side looking for 7th.
Run way high. Spiker way down on the bottom. Bradley's going to cut it in just a little bit, give him a better drive off. Gonna make it stick this time. Cody almost left out to dry, though. Learman's going to make the move, the same move Bradley just did there. Spiker kind of stuck on the bottom a little bit. He's going to get a little bit better drive off here. I think Lerman got a little bit tight up there. It's going to give him an opportunity to slide up high. Some smoke through the tri-oval there. I don't know if you saw that.
I didn't see what may have caused that, but...
Yeah, Mark Broderick on the inside walls. We're getting ready to pass him here with Craig Lerman. Getting back up to the racing surface now.
He's got a lot more damage. We'll take a quick chance to look at this replay. He was actually spun out on the track. iRacing algorithms didn't feel it was enough for a caution. He just got loose out of turn 4. And you see him go through the grass, end up spinning back onto the speedway. Hits the outside wall. Gets onto the apron, though, in time for no caution to be thrown by iRacing. And got to mention, again, it's all on iRacing to throw these yellows. He ends up getting to the apron in time for iRacing to just not throw one.
Yeah. Still watching the battle with Craig Lerman and Cody Spiker right now.
We can definitely watch it. Craig Lerman working the bottom side. Here comes Alan Westman. Cody Spiker trying to hang on to that spot in the Gale Toyota Camry. Loses that position to Craig Lerman. Now he's back to 9th. Alan Westman now working on him for 10th. Or, no, for 9th, sorry.
Trying to shove it way down there. Cody Spiker going to try and defend up on the high side, get a drive off there. Not going to work for him. Alan Westman's going to have him cleared here. The 7-Eleven of David Heise is going to try maybe the inside of here as well. Cody a little bit loose on entry again there. I don't know if that's maybe picking up the slack in the wheel there or what's happening there, but car's kind of unsettled on entry. Alan Westman pushing up right ahead of him, though, got loose coming off the corner.
Now David Heise will go to work. He almost pushed up into the 22 in turn number 3. That slowed them both down. Now he's loose again on the bottom side, trying to hang on to it. He will for now. That was a heck of a job by David Heise to hang on to that race car. These cars are not easy to hang on to once they get loose, so that was a great job from the driver of the number 7-Eleven to not lose that thing out of turn 4 and even into turn 3. So great driving there out of the driver of the 7-Eleven. Now here comes Matthew McMeekin to the top side in the Navy machine.
Oak car spinning loose ahead of him in the tri-oval on the apron. With the 22 Cody Spiker.
He gets it gathered back up. He'll lose a few spots, though, back to 13th. Now here comes Jared Beasley trying to catch up to him. I'm not sure if he'll have the chance, but the JB Paints Chevrolet is still rolling pretty strong, even after the wreck we had on lap number 5 involving him. He's going to keep going and now go to work on the number 22.
Kind of rolling through the field here to see if we have anything else. Looks like right now just be Jared Beasley and Cody Spiker. Closest battle at the moment, a little bit ahead maybe with Bradley Wilson as well. Yeah, and Alan Westman actually cleared Bradley Wilson. Alan Westman on a charge right now to...
Yeah, he's left a couple of his teammates, and David Heise and Craig Lerman in the dust. Craig Lerman not so much, and I think Christopher Matthews is also part of that team over at HRL, but Bradley Wilson now going in the wrong direction. We noted it with Spence Thompson a bit ago. Looked like he was starting to fall back, and now we see the same thing, but even more dramatically from his team owner.
Come to beat 3 to go this time. Bradley has an opportunity to hold on here. Better drive in than Alan Westman. Alan Westman just slows down and gets driving better behind him. Working through the lap traffic here.
Working by the slow car of Ryan Daniels on the bottom side. He's going to hold out of the way for these drivers to go on by into turn number 1. Alan Westman setting sail to get away from the 20 car, but now here comes Chris Matthews to the bottom side. He gets right on by Craig Lerman. Now he'll get to go to work on the Oklahoma driver, Bradley Wilson, who's trying to hang on to some stage points here, currently in the 8th spot.
Going to look through the middle there. Bradley's still on the high side. I wonder if maybe that's just, you know, when the tires are too far gone. I think that's probably what's going on here. Is just got to keep it up high to keep it drivable, decent speed here. Bradley really hasn't tried very much to push down a little bit this time just to defend the move from the 92.
Oh, a big shake out of the 17 there out of turn number 2. He almost lost handle of that number 17 Bass Pro Shops Toyota Camry. Hangs on to it though. Chris Matthews now to the bottom side working on Bradley Wilson. Back up to the front as white flag is out on the stage. Tyler Justice still your leader, looking to win his 2nd stage in a row tonight. He's actually loose out of turn number 2. He hangs on to it rather easily. Jerry Glenn going a lap down. Aiden Young to the bottom side to work by him. It's all Tyler Justice in the lead. He's going to come out of turn number 4, lap number 80. And he's going to win stage number 2.
All right, man. Caution is out. Caution is out.
But he's shuffled through here for position. Like Bruno's going to be 2nd. Aiden Young will be 3rd. 4th is going to be Spence Thompson. And 5th, PJ Popham on the stage here.
The rest of the top 10, he'll be getting points for stage number 2 will be Jimmy McKee in the number 8. Alan Westman in the 17, Bradley Wilson in the 20 tonight, Christopher Matthews in the 92, and Craig Lerman in the number 43. And that's a wrap of the 2 smaller stages on the night. And we're now about halfway through the race. We have 80 laps to go. It is lap we have 81 laps to go. It is lap 82. We'll be coming to 80 to go as we complete this lap, and these guys get pit stops rolling. Everybody catching up to the pace car. And I would imagine everybody will come in for 4 tires and fuel. If they don't, that'll be interesting, but I couldn't imagine anybody going for anything less.
It looks like somebody's going to stay out, I think, just to get the lap led there.
No,
Actually,
those guys both should
car,
be
yeah.
To get their wave around. And actually, even if they come in, they have to wait 1 lap. iRacing does automatically sort that, just like NASCAR, where all lapped cars on the Speedway cannot enter the pit lane without getting a penalty. When the lead lap cars have their first chance to pit, basically iRacing, just like NASCAR, gives each lead lap driver a chance to pit without lap down cars in the pit lane at the same time.
Tyler's going to beat Bruno just by a hair off the line here. 3rd will be Aiden Young. Spence Thompson, so they leave in the order they started in, or they came in for the stage there, so no big mix up there.
Well, Brennan, again, Tyler Justice won stage number 1, now he wins stage number 2. His teammate Mike Bruno won the pole, so we've talked to both of those guys so far tonight. I think we're going to get Aiden Young in the interview booth. Just want to mix it up, get talking to more drivers, so we'll bring in Aiden Young, who brought it home in third place here in stage number 2. I'll let you move him up when you're ready.
Ready? Hey, it's Bruno up here in the PSI booth. You got a copy with us?
I got ya.
Well, third for you in stage 2. We already had an opportunity tonight to talk with Tyler and Mike, so I will take an opportunity now to talk with you. How's the car feeling for you tonight compared to the truck?
And the car feels pretty good. Just for a surprise visit to the Cup Series, I'm feeling pretty good.
Good to hear for you. Track temps actually he did not make the show last night, so I can't really give you too much of a comparison with the trucks though. But overall, a lot hotter track temp that we saw last night. We see you guys getting kind of loose on the corner exits. Any strategy with you for the tires on how you're managing them to keep you from getting loose and slowing down like that?
Just basically just not getting on the gas as hard as some people, and it seems to be working here. So we'll see what we got in the last stage.
Alrighty, so we're going to be starting third for you for the final stage here. We got it'll be just over 75 laps to go. Not enough to make it. Are you just going to wait for Tyler and Bruno ahead of you to pit in, or are you going to try and mix it up and give you an opportunity to go to the lead here?
I don't really know. I'm not that great on fuel strategy, but we'll see what happens.
Alrighty, buddy. Well, we're getting ready to come to 1 to green here, so I think we'll go ahead and get you moved back down. Hopefully we can talk with you some more tonight with maybe a top 3 for you.
10-4.
Again, that was Aiden Young, currently in the 3rd position. Started 15th on the night, right next to his friend Ryan Daniels in the 52. And Aiden going to line up again, 3rd place. He came across to complete stage number 2 in 3rd place, and was good to get to talk to a new driver tonight. So now we've talked to each driver in the top 3. We'll see if some of these guys a little further back can mix it up, I guess penetrate or permeate into the or into one of the top 3 positions. Sorry, had trouble getting that one out, but I think Spence Thompson's one of the best drivers to have a chance. Obviously, PJ Popham looks like he's pretty quick as well, and we started to see a late run surge from Alan Westman, and that's going to be important as these tires wear out in this longer stage number 3.
Yeah, definitely. As mentioned a little bit in the interview with Aiden, it's really, I think we'll see him probably kind of split it just about in half. Tyler seems to usually stay out a little bit longer than that, but I think everybody will just wait for someone probably in the top 5 to make a move, and then everyone will go.
Only time will tell as we're coming to restart. Coming to lap 86 of 162, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us here at Pit Stop TV for coverage of the NMNTS BA Graphix Cup Series. Stage 3 about to get underway. Pace car makes the hard left turn into the pit lane. Tyler Justice waiting off and away. The number 7 restarts the race.
Start for him and his teammate Mike Bruno. I'm sure in communications there on when they were getting ready to go. Aiden Young's going to be a couple car lengths back. Spence Thompson still in 4th. PJ up to 5th. Alan Westman going to try to make a move on the outside. Not going to quite have it. Gets pinched up a little bit in the middle of the corner. Bradley Wilson right behind them.
The whole front of the field pretty much single file now after that restart. Aiden Young following Mike Bruno and Tyler Justice around, going to break off a little bit from 4th place Spence Thompson. PJ Popham trying to hold off Alan Westman for the 5th position. Alan Westman trying to make his first appearance into the top 5 so far tonight. Now working the top line to get by that M&M's Toyota Camry. Won't do it just yet. Here comes Christopher Matthews on the bottom side.
Matthews going to have no choice but to keep it down there. Bradley's still staying high. It looks like he's just going to try to get a little bit better drive off. Chris has just got too far ahead there. Actually, Bradley, really strong drive off there.
Bradley Wilson high side hustling right now. He's one of the better guys that work in the top line, I think, because he's got all the dirt racing experience, so he really knows how to work that top line to get that advantage out of turn number 2 and turn number 4, whereas some of these guys were kind of running up there just to run up there, and that's not how you want to do it. So Bradley Wilson, again, high side hustling right now, trying to be like Bobby Pierce, the smooth operator. And I'm sorry, I had to get that shot at you just a little bit.
Well, you use his term and then you don't say his name. Jason Fager, the actual high side hustler there.
Yeah, I knew you would bring him up. That's why I didn't say his name, Jason Fager.
Yeah, a local boy to me. We're from the same town, so I always got to shout him out anytime I can. He up ahead, though, a battle with Spence Thompson, Alan Westman, and PJ Popham now for it's going to be 5th through 7th.
Yeah, 3-car battle shaping up. Actually, that's, I think, 4th through 6th. It's hard to tell, honestly, with so many cars going around here. The only reason I can tell is because I have a list of their positions, so don't feel bad. I have to cheat to do it. But actually, Aiden Young now up to the back end of Mike Bruno. What do you got up there?
Yeah, Aiden Young going to try and stay high. Bruno's going to kind of fade a little bit of the middle line and push up a little bit just to keep him a little momentum. No real difference in drive off. Aiden Young just using a little bit of draft there, I'd say, to catch up right on nose or the nose to tail again. Aiden going to try a little bit further down the track than Bruno. No real move so far. Aiden Young going to dive on the inside a little bit. He's got about a nose ahead in. Shove it on down there. 3/4 of the way clear, but Bruno's going to have a pretty good run coming off here, I'd say.
Aiden Young with sorry to cut you off. I was just going to say Aiden Young with a great car right now. He's working that bottom line like we saw him do in stage number 2, Brennan. Looking like he might have a shot if we get a late race restart, possibly to work at the number 7 of Tyler Justice, possibly for a win.
He did a really good move there, just driving it way down and just shoving it in there, making it work. Bruno fell back a little bit, maybe just going to let him have the position for now instead of the two of them battling out the tire where the tire's out some more.
A big shake out of turn number 2 going to come out of the 43 of Craig Lerman. We also see Bradley Wilson now in that battle. Bradley working the top side still, trying to hang on to these spots. Here comes Cody Spiker on the outside of Craig Lerman. Jared Beasley now getting in the battle, and here comes Jimmy McKee trying to get back into TV time. Oh, almost contact. Yeah. Wow. They got close there into turn number 1. That was Cody Spiker.
The 15 is going to tag the 43 in the right rear just a little bit.
And these guys are making some really ballsy moves right now. There's only one way to put it, pretty much, and they're making ballsy moves. We'll see if they can do this without possibly making a mistake and bringing out a yellow. I think they've done pretty good so far. Only one caution aside from the stage brakes, and it's lap number 95 now.
I gotta tell you what, this is a much better outlook so far than kind of how I think some of us anticipated this going after that such an early caution. So really still a great race to be had tonight.
Although we did just see some contact from the right rear of the 43 of Craig Lerman to the left front of Jared Beasley. I'm not sure whose fault it was. We'll just keep it live TV though. Jared Beasley got into the fence, now going to fall back into the clutches of Lerman's teammate David Heise. David Heise, we saw him make a great save earlier on. We'll see if he can work by the 15 of Jared Beasley out of Mobile, Alabama. He's going to hang on to that spot so far, and JB Paint's on the hood there. Further back, I see some movement out of Trevor Harmon. He's currently in 20th, a lap behind. That doesn't mean he can't work at these guys and make sure he ends up at the next caution as the first driver 1 lap down. He's still got things to race for. He's still got a really good car with Flip Switch Gaming and Emerge NYC on the hood. His teammate, Terry Mason, right in front of him. What can you tell me about him?
Terry tonight, not really too much hurt out of him. Started 24th tonight. He's up to 17th at the moment. Right behind Jared Rashawn and another teammate, Clayton Kurtz there. Just battling out. I wouldn't call it a mediocre night for him, but he's definitely he's there. Didn't get involved in any incidents or anything like that yet, so he's trying to actually make a move by the 51 of Jared Rashawn there. Trevor Harmon's going to dive it on in there too to make it past him.
And kind of amazingly, that was for position, at least the 75 on the 51. They are affiliated teammates, but Jared Rashawn, with all that front end damage, still in the race. I'm surprised he hasn't overheated and blown up just yet. And to be running so well is really just a testament to that kid's skill lately. He ran, again, in 3rd place last night in the SimSpec Championship Series in the NASCAR truck, so good to see him trying to back that up. Obviously has a ton of damage to that car already. Tried to miss a wreck earlier on, ended up getting a little bit loose under braking, and we saw what happened to him from there. But still, I mean, to at least salvage something out of that number 51, doing a pretty good job here tonight.
Yeah, and actually up ahead and navigating around, Michael Redding's going to bunch up the 20, the 15, and the 8, and the 7-11. Pretty good battle now. The 8's going to kind of check out a little bit. Got a better pick out of the lap traffic there. Bunch some cars together. Let's see what they can do here.
We'll switch to the onboard from David Heiza as he tries to keep up with these guys and maybe capitalize on a mistake from one of these 3 right ahead of him. Jared Beasley going to fall in behind Bradley Wilson for now. Bradley Wilson behind Jimmy McKee. Jimmy McKee doing a really good job. We didn't see him last week at Atlanta. I'm not sure if he raced at Daytona, but to just come back and run such a good race is pretty impressive from the driver of the number 8.
You're almost 20 laps into this stage so far, so going by pretty quick.
Yeah, I was really hoping this race would be clean and green and just pretty quick, like you just mentioned, and that's exactly what we're seeing from these drivers. A lot of clean racing, albeit very, very aggressive. We saw the 15 and the 43 get into it a bit ago, and we've seen plenty of battles all night long, but really, really good racing all around here tonight.
It definitely, I was kind of worried going into it, seeing how loose some of the guys were getting in practice, but everybody's able to keep a hold onto it. Really good racetrack for how loose these guys are getting. Beasley into the wall a little bit here. That's going to allow the 7-11 by. Beasley tonight just having another tough night for him. A bunch of times he's caught that outside wall.
Now that's going to bring Matthew McMeekin possibly into the battle for the 13th or even the 12th position. Jared Beasley kind of going in the wrong direction right now. We saw him get in the wall a couple of times. And now Matthew McMeekin in 14th trying to catch up to him. Will go to his onboard.
15 to get a great run on Beasley. He had to slow down to keep from getting into the 7-11. Almost contact between the two of them there. 15 a little bit loose on entry. McMeekin's going to get a fairly clean pass there. You have a decent amount of room between them. Now he's going to go to work on the 7-11.
Yeah, Beasley tried to pull the crossover to McMeekin's slide job. Didn't make it work. Now McMeekin going to use the top side to try and defend that spot. He's going to lose the spot to a slider. He's going to try the crossover. Won't. Actually, he will get there as Beasley pops up into the fence a little bit.
Loose,
oh,
though.
he's loose.
Still
He
loose.
almost lost it. Hangs onto it. Great driving from the U.S. Navy number 18, Matthew McMeekin. Wow, that's really got to be scaring Ryan Daniels. He's already been through 1 wreck, now almost 2. That could have been really, really bad. McMeekin now back to the bottom side, trying to catch back up to Beasley.
Last time I think we commented on Ryan Daniels, he was just going a lap, almost 2 laps down. Now he's got himself scored 16, so I wonder if he opted to stay in the pits and fix as much of the damage as he could.
Well, he's in the 23rd spot, so yeah, he definitely lost a bunch more laps. Might have actually overheated, like I mentioned, with the 51, that I'm surprised he didn't end up overheating and blow up. We might have had the same issue there for Ryan Daniels, or maybe he ran into an overheating issue, had to come back in, fix the car the rest of the way before he could go back out, but he is now back to 23rd. The only driver behind him left on the track, I believe, actually no, since Michael Redding's back out, the only other driver aside from Michael Redding on the track behind him would be Zach Lindgren. We'll switch actually back to Zach Lindgren for a moment and just give him the TV time he deserves. He's the points leader right now over in the Monday Night Series, and while he can't really show for it too much on Tuesday night so far, he has done just a great job so far in 2018, at least in the trucks.
And I went into the cockpit view here just to see if maybe we could get a look at the water temperature, but it looks like that one has not been implemented. So, like you just get RPM and the rev lights for the A car.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if the other gauges will even work on the other cars on iRacing. I think it may just be the RPM and the gear selector. I think that's all we're going to get, at least for the near future. But we'll see if iRacing maybe puts that in future builds. It's certainly possible. We saw a moment there for Matthew McMeekin. He got loose into turn number 1. Now he's going to fall into the clutches of possibly Trevor Harmon, not for position, but maybe even Clayton Kurtz for position. That would be for the 14th spot if the number 90 can catch the number 18.
15 ahead of him, big time loose coming off the exit of the corner again. It's going to give the 18 a good opportunity. It's going to squeeze him down there. He wants it on the inside. He's going to get it on the inside coming to turn 1. Beasley up top, going to try to defend. I think he'll quite have anything for him, and he wasn't quite up to speed again.
Back up to the front, Aiden Young trying to hang on to 3rd place right ahead of Alan Westman. Alan Westman, we mentioned, with a long run speed at the end of stage number 2, now showing the same thing. We've been through just about 30 laps now, I think 25 laps actually since the restart, and Alan Westman showing a bunch more long run speed, could possibly get up to 3rd or maybe even 2nd by the end of this race. We'll see if he has anything for race leader, though. Tyler Justice just continuing to have a stranglehold on this race.
Yeah, he's back in form, just way out there, way ahead, doing what he normally does as they navigate past Jerry Glenn there. The car we mentioned earlier, dog walking. Unfortunately, still dog walking a little bit of it, so he's definitely having a rough night as well.
Further back, I just noticed a battle with the 89, of Spence Thompson and the 92 of Christopher Matthews. That's for 5th position, and these guys are going back and forth, side by side, making passes. Right now, Christopher Matthews trying to trail the 89 before he can get that spot. The Untapped Chevrolet looking pretty good. He doesn't always have a chance to race. He is in the U.S. Air Force currently, so got to thank him for his service. Give him a quick shout out there. And a great job so far from Christopher Matthews.
Aiden Young and Alan Weston both are going to navigate Jerry Glenn just fine here. No real gain or loss there for either of them when it comes to position and the distance between them. Still a really good battle going on there. Actually have a car smoking in turn 3. Pulls it off the track. I think that may have been Michael Redding. Yeah, he's back in the pits. Almost came back up on the track there right in front of Tyler Justice. So that was a scary moment.
And I want to mention real quick, PJ Popham has already made his pit stop. I'm not sure if he's trying to play the end of this race as a 2-stop race, but he shouldn't have had to pit yet. But he is making up all kinds of time right now on good tires, working his way through the field. I noticed he was up in the front and then suddenly a lap down, so that's why I brought the attention to it. But the number 1, really fast right now, working by these guys. You can see the difference in speed as he just rolls by these guys like they're standing still, but that could present issue. He may not have enough fuel to go to the end.
Yeah, maybe hoping for a caution or something to go on here, or maybe he thinks he's got the number he needs. Maybe a little bit of fuel saving once he gets up there. I don't know what he has in store, but well, we'll see what has to come of it here. PJ Popham probably going to put himself in a pretty decent spot, though, if we get another caution come out.
Well, he's got to wait for pit stops to cycle through. Then he would be in a good spot to come in pit with everybody else and go to the end. But he's got to, I mean, hopefully he wasn't planning on 2 stops, because you do not need 2 stops from the previous restart. Now, Tyler Justice just came in, didn't he?
Yeah, that's what I was getting ready to say. Tyler Justice now down pit road. I think they may have found their window.
And that makes a bit more sense. About a 50-lap run to the end sounds about right. I think you can go about 55 laps with these cars on 1.5 miles, maybe even to 60 if you were to be careful enough. Tyler Justice going to leave the pit lane and get back out there, see what he can do. Mike Bruno through the pit lane.
Alan Westman up ahead, though, has worked around Aiden Young, so that's going to put him the leader for the moment. We might expect them due to pit lane here pretty soon. this time for either, though.
As we wait on Mike Bruno to leave his pit stall, there he goes. Peels out of his pit stall, actually saves the rear tires a bit. Very, very careful exit, I like it. He's going to get back up to speed on the apron, has to wait till turn number 2 to re-merge. Back up to the front, Alan Westman. Oh, actually, Spence Thompson almost went to the apron there, I think at a turn 2, maybe got loose.
Yeah, Alan Westman, I think he's coming into the pits, it looks like he is, but big time loose, so picked a great opportunity to come in loose on pit entry here as well.
Jimmy
That's
McKee.
about all he had left.
Jimmy McKee going to join Alan Westman in the pit lane. These guys had their numbers worked out the exact same, so we'll see the Peak and Menards number 8 come down the pit lane with the Bass Pro Shops number 17.
The Aiden Young leader. Looks like he's going to slow down a little bit. Looks like he's going to come in. Does not. PJ Poppin's going to make a move around him now to get his lap back.
Jason Burgess also makes his way into the pit lane. He's actually going to, actually he slid into his box. I thought he maybe slid through his box. He will not, though. Christopher Matthews now going to make the move into the pit lane. Spence Thompson still on the racing surface, still running these tires out. And actually now he's going to bring it into the pit lane. He's going to make his pit stop. Cody Spiker continues on by. Oh, a big wreck! Ryan Daniels! Ryan Daniels, Jerry Glenn out of turn 4. A huge hit for both of those drivers.
Lucky break there. Tyler Justice just got his lap back. And Aiden Young's going to be the leader coming to the yellow here.
We'll go back and obviously get a replay on this. Ryan Daniels, Jerry Glenn, both a couple of laps down, many laps down actually, as they were just continuing to lap the Speedway and do what they could to get some points. And we'll see what happens here in turns number 3 and 4.
Tony was coming into pit and slowed right down right in front of Ryan Daniels and really nowhere for him to go.
And you see the immediate reaction to Bradley Wilson to stay out. Does not come in. And Ryan Daniels brings the car right back into the pit lane. Jerry Glenn continues around. We'll see if he can do anything with that 14 to keep it running. Probably not going to be able to. We'll get another replay on this, this time from the onboard of the 14. And again, ladies and gentlemen, this is a huge hit that we see for the 14 and the 52. This is where we have to be glad that this is just a sim. It's not real life, and they did not just break their necks with that huge hit. And actually, Jared Beasley also caught a big piece of the wall. A lot of damage there, I think, to the right side. Trevor Harmon was lucky to get by that with no damage. He almost ended up clipping the wall going by the slower 14 of Jerry Glenn. We got a very brief clip, actually, of Tyler Justice really loose out of the pit lane, leaving his pit stall very, very sideways. He's going to get going. I think this is going to give us a leader of Aiden Young, at least momentarily.
Yeah, still the leader, actually. He was the leader coming to the caution there.
Well, actually, Spence Thompson is ahead of him. PJ Popham as well. So everything going to change. It's really going to be difficult to see exactly where these drivers are going to shake out because we were in the midst of green flag pit stops. Now everything, again, going to change up here.
Tyler Justice, I don't think took tires. If he did, it was 2 and a splash of fuel just to top it off there. So.
Well, what's interesting with the number 7 is I don't see him in first on my my list here, and it updates even before the leaderboard does at the top of your screen. So it'll be interesting to see if he actually gets his lucky dog.
He had cleared Aiden completely.
Okay. I thought he was the lucky dog recipient there, so that's my bad. We'll see PJ Popham come back into the pit lane. Clayton Kurtz coming in with a bunch of the other drivers who hadn't pitted yet. Zach Lindgren, Gordon Larson Jr., Derek Robinson, and more. Aiden Young should be our leader, and he is. Spence Thompson, it looks like, will actually be third. Cody Spiker going to break those two up in second place. We'll take just a moment here to give ourselves a moment to refresh before the last 35 laps of the race. We'll be right back. We'll give you a quick commercial break.
Because here comes Holgate. He has the outside line through the final corner for the final time. Once again, photo finish here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Will it be Tim Holgate? It's going to be Christopher DeMary at the line.
Welcome back, race fans, to the Las Vegas Motor Speedway in Las Vegas, Nevada. On this restart, we're actually going to go on board with the driver. We're going to utilize the fact that we now have dash telemetry on these cars, and we're going to go to the cockpit cam right on the front end of the helmet of the driver of the number 75, Terry Mason. We'll get to watch as he navigates this restart. Brennan, I'll let you call it out.
Ready. Newer face for the lead here. Aiden Young gonna get an opportunity to restart. Waiting on the pace car to pull in. It does. It's Aiden's Young from here. Right away, Aiden Young goes. It's gonna leave Cody Spiker a little bit asleep behind. Spence Thompson's gonna get a decent start. Terry Mason, not the greatest for him. Bradley Wilson on the high side up ahead of him. Start getting singled out here.
Terry Mason getting going in the 5th position, the highest we've seen him all night long. Good to see him making some headway, even though he got the break from a caution. We'll see if he can hang on to that spot. We saw some drivers actually get shuffled back because of that caution being amidst the pit stop, so we'll see how the rest of the race shakes out. Aiden Young is currently your leader. Spence Thompson trying to catch up to him, now into 2nd place. Cody Spiker 3rd, Bradley Wilson into 4th.
A really great opportunity. I think these guys all stayed out a lot later than everybody else did. I think they made it all the way to the yellow, so they're putting themselves in a really great position right now to score a top 5.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens over the course of over 35 laps to the checkered flag, because obviously that's a pretty good chance for these tires to wear in and the race to really change. We saw Alan Westman go from kind of just being on pace with everybody to really being a lot faster than a lot of the drivers on the track and working his way through the field, so we'll have to wait and see exactly what these guys who were in the front can do throughout the run, although actually Mike Bruno I think is a lap down. Mike Bruno is a lap down. I was going to say he's still in the top 10, but no, he's a lap behind. He's trying to work his way through and hang on to a lucky dog.
The one to watch out here would be Tyler Justice, the one who really came to a really commanding lead there. See how long it takes him to start working his way through these guys. You got a little bit of gap to PJ Popham ahead of him.
And real quickly, as we have just over 30 laps to go, if you'd like to sponsor PSI TV or one of the leagues we cover, just let us know on Facebook at facebook.com/pitstoptv. It's rather inexpensive to at least partner up with us or the NMNTS Racing Series, the one we cover the most. Got to, of course, thank some of the sponsors, both of Pit Stop TV and the NMNTS Racing Series: SimSpec PC, TN Designs, VA Graphics, Wall Crusher Designs, TJ Designs, JB Paints. There's so many painting companies out there that put all of these cars on the track each week. Also got to thank Old Can Hancock's, Discount Shop Towels, and more. Got a great race shaping up tonight. It's been clean and green aside from just 2 incidents that gave us cautions aside from the stage breaks, Brennan. And, you know, it does get slightly boring on some of these longer runs, but it's still to the point where you can find at least some battle somewhere, and it's still really good racing, even at the end of a run, because these guys then are sliding all over the track.
It's not quite the same as last night. Obviously, I think that kind of gets more entertaining to some people, just, you know, being able to bunch up his back of 4 or 5 trucks, as we saw, just, you know, with the cooler track teams helping to aid them with that. But definitely, you know, it's got its own battle of its own, obviously, as you said, just people, you know, getting super loose like that. So definitely entertaining to watch towards the end of the stage.
And I think it's shaping up to be a really exciting finish, because these guys will be on their old tires at the end of the race. It's going to make these guys really have to drive the cars all the way to the end. They can't lay back now.
Yeah, I do have to mention, though, Aiden Young kind of pulling a Tyler Justice here. He's almost got a whole second to Spence Thompson now. Actually, that gap fell a little bit. But it seems like whoever's out in front can kind of just set the pace they want to run at, and he's so far falling away.
Marshall Green in the Facebook chat asking what class this is. This is the NASCAR Cup cars, otherwise known as the A-class cars on the oval side of iRacing. This is the BA Graphix Cup Series for the NMNTS. And I got to thank NMNTS for bringing us on for all 3 of their Sunday through Tuesday racing series. Been a lot of fun so far this season, and we've only got more races throughout all of 2018. You can check them out here on PSI TV. On Facebook, it's Pit Stop TV, YouTube is PSI TV, and Twitch as pitstop_TV. We're hanging on to PSI TV only for the time being, while YouTube is a little picky with me over what exactly I can make the page name. And then we'll be fully as Pit Stop TV, so hopefully it's not too confusing. I know Brennan sometimes gets on my case about it. But 27 laps to go. Brennan, Jimmy McKee has just worked his way back into the top 10.
Yeah, actually, I just caught glimpses of some guys pulling down pit lane. Looks like the 7-Eleven of David Heisa and maybe the 00 Gordon Larson. Nope, not the 00, excuse me.
Well, I see Craig Lerman in the pit lane, so these guys could be counting on this race still needing a pit stop, which it definitely shouldn't. They also may have... I don't know. I'm not sure about this pit strategy, actually. I can't really call it too well. I'm not sure what's their motive here.
Yeah, I don't really know. A little bit more information, too. Got actually a message from the 85 that Zach Lindgren that said he pulled it into the pits for the night. And that's going to be the end of his race.
In the chat, we've got Jack Gass saying hello, and well, Jack, hello. Donnie Moore also asking how you get started in this. Actually, this series is still wide open to new entries, so just go to NMNTS Racing Series on Facebook, message them, and they will get you set up in a car in the either the NMNTS PSI TV Super Series on Sunday nights, in the NASCAR, or sorry, not the NASCAR, but the iRacing Super Late Models, or here on Tuesday nights in this series, the BA Graphix Cup Series. Definitely contact them, see if you can get into one of the 2 series that is still open to brand new entries. It's certainly worth it. There are some rewards no matter what division you race in, and it's always a lot of fun. Adam Mondo over on YouTube saying hi, and well, Adam, hello. We said hello to Jack Gass a moment ago. Got to thank everybody for tuning in. A lot of you guys actually over on Facebook definitely like seeing that. We've got about 47, I think, right now, and still got a handful over on YouTube. Got to thank all of the support we always get. Brendan, you seeing anything further back in the field?
Just kind of floating through them here. Nothing really too much that I can tell. I'd say Clayton Kurtz, 75 Terry Mason, and Jerry Beasley are kind of, they're not really super close to each other, but I think that's about the closest racing we have so far.
Clayton Kurtz out of Illinois trying to work up to his teammate Terry Mason. I've noticed this battle a few times. I think Jared Beasley actually worked by them. Now they're catching back up to the 15. I know Jared Beasley has had a bit of a relationship going on tonight with him in the outside wall. So we'll see if he can try and correct that issue he had a little while earlier on and close out for a strong finish. He is currently in the 5th place, so looking to have something strong here at the end of this 162-lap race.
Flipping through some other cars, the 92 Christopher Matthews down to 12th, and he's got a lot of rear end damage there. I don't think we may have missed something with him.
Yeah, I noticed it when right before we went back up to Terry Mason and Clayton Kurtz. I switched to him for just a second, noticed a bunch of damage to that untapped Chevrolet. I don't know what happened, but you know, since we don't know what happened or where, we can't really go back and find it. We might be able to try and get to talk to him at some point following this race, or if we get another caution, we'll try and talk to him then. Chris Fowler wondering what's required system-wise. You can go to iRacing.com for iRacing Motorsport Simulations. Actually, Jason Burr just loose out of turn 2, but go to iRacing.com. You'll find just about all the info you could ever want to know about iRacing on over there, and there is actually a dedicated page for system requirements, both hardware and software-wise. I'm not sure if there's too many other battles through the field here, though, Brennan.
Yeah, PJ Popham now is starting to work his way up to the 90. Clayton Kurtz, and the 75 is going to make a move on the 15 this time. Not going to quite make it. Cody Spiker and Bradley Wilson up ahead are battling side by side.
Terry Mason now completes the pass on Jared Beasley. He'll move into the 5th position. He restarted 5th, now taking that spot back. Going to work the top lane this time to try and stay ahead of Jared Beasley. Had a bobble out of turn 2, not going to hang on to it. Tyler Justice loose behind him.
I'm noticing anyone who's on the high side, it looks like coming off that corner there, that getting just a little bit loose, and that's just killing their momentum up there. So not really able to pull ahead as much as they were. That leaves a good opportunity for anybody running the lower the middle line, I think, right now to start to make a move down there.
Pacer Popham in the number 1 looking really good right here. He's worked right on by Clayton Kurtz. Now going to go to work on the 75 of Terry Mason. Has the nose to the inside, now working that white line. Hasn't quite cleared him. He's about halfway by him, but I think he has a run actually out of turn 4 rather than the top lane having a run. He'll clear him before they even get to turn 1. Now he gets to go to work on Jared Beasley. He's going to go to the top side this time.
If my theory holds true here, you may get a little bit loose coming off the exit. A little bit, nothing crazy. Actually going to get a pretty good drive on Beasley here due to his damage.
Well,
PJ with some damage as well, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, he actually has some right front
loose,
damage.
Though. He's getting really loose. Snapped it back there. Able to hold on. This is going to let Terry Mason start to work his way up a little bit.
Again, these 4 drivers, and actually Tyler Justice here soon, are battling for 5th through 9th now. Jared Beasley currently in 5th, PJ Popham 6th, Terry Mason 7th, Clayton Kurtz 8th, and Tyler Justice 9th. If they can drag Jimmy McKee back into the battle, he would join in and he would be 10th.
Kurtz not quite going to have anything for Terry yet. Beasley is on the bottom though. Up ahead. PJ Popham on the high side. Beasley going to slam it way up there. PJ with the crossover. Diving in there. Loose again on entry for him. Bobbling through the middle again. Some more. Not going to help him on the drive off. Here comes Tyler Justice though. Going to do better with the 90 a little bit behind him.
We're on board with Clayton Kurtz as he is trying to defend that position from Tyler Justice. Won't make good on that. Hope Tyler Justice gets 2 for 1 and turns 1 and 2. But here comes Terry Mason back to the top lane. Can Clayton Kurtz capitalize? No, not yet. But Terry Mason back to the top lane, not going down without a fight.
A little bit ahead of them. PJ and Beasley still not really anyone. The victor, Terry Mason, actually got a little bit loose coming off the exit. It's going to let Tyler by and Clayton by. Tyler now going to go work on his teammate, Jared Beasley.
Jared Beasley now going to the bottom side to try and work on the one of PJ Popham. Won't make anything happen just yet. Time is running out for Tyler Justice. He's going to make the move to the bottom side, looking for the 6th position. Jimmy McKee going by Terry Mason, at least trying to so far, for 9th.
So for 1st and 2nd, we have Aiden Young and Spence Thompson 3/4 of a second back. And then it jumps to 4.3 seconds back for Bradley Wilson there. So I wonder if maybe there's a bobble up there, or if Aiden Young's just really just pulling that far ahead of these guys.
I don't think there was any bobble at all. Oh, PJ Popham loose on the back straightaway. We saw him sideways into the outside wall. He hangs on to it somehow. They'll continue on. No caution, but a ton of damage to the right side of the number 1. Almost collects Alan Westman. He'll get it woed down, though. Alan Westman going to fall in.
Loose again, though.
Wow. That was a big turn of events for Popham. He was working his way back through some of these drivers into the top 5 and then just fell right out of it.
92 now, Christopher Matthews. Trying the outside. These guys both have a substantial amount of damage, though. No real contention, though, for PJ there. That's just a lot of damage for him on the right-hand side.
Like you mentioned a couple of laps ago, now with 9 to go, Spence Thompson just about a second now behind Aiden Young. He has held on to 2nd place. Just looks like he doesn't quite have the same speed as the number 9 right now, but still a great move to possibly come home in 2nd place and back up a win last week at Atlanta. Loose out of turn 2, but he'll hang on to it. Bradley Wilson, like you mentioned, actually did work by Cody Spiker quite a while ago for the 3rd position. He is still in 3rd place, quite a ways behind the leader of Aiden Young.
In the iRacing messages, Trevor Harmon disconnected and just reconnected now, so now he's going to be 17 laps down for him. It's a bit of an internet issue for him as well tonight. I've seen that with a couple of guys.
Tyler Justice on through to 5th place. Now Clayton Kurtz working on Jared Beasley, possibly for 6th. Working the bottom lane. Gonna bring a slider to the number 15. No crossover made. Wasn't really a slider. I thought it was going to be. Ended up not really being one. Terry Mason now trying to... He actually got right back by Jimmy McKee. Going to try to maybe capitalize on this battle ahead of him. Maybe get by the 15 of Jared Beasley if the opportunity presents itself. 7 laps to go. Really more like 6.5 for these guys. Back up to the lead though. Aiden Young still running first, and he's now got over 1.6 seconds, and that gap is growing. I think Spence Thompson running into some long-run issues here. Tires aren't quite holding up like he wants them to, and Aiden Young starting to pull away. Looks like he may have his first NMNTS win of 2018 in the bag.
Yeah, let's hope for him, though. We've been known to have a little bit of bad luck. With some guys having some strange events happening, so a little bit of a knock on wood for him here. Let's hopefully he can close out on that.
Tyler Justice, as we mentioned, worked back into the top 5. We saw him with a couple of issues on that previous stage break. Just the nature of, it was a caution that came out in the middle of pit stops. Sorry, it wasn't the stage break. And it really put the 7 behind by quite a bit. He went from running first before the pit stops all the way back to, I think, outside the top 10 at the restart. Now back into 5th place, working to see if he can get back up to Cody Spiker. He's got about a second to go before he can get to him. Aiden Young, though, still your leader. 3.5 laps to go. Spence Thompson second. Bradley Wilson third. And caution out on the Speedway. That's it. Race is over. That was Jimmy McKee, I believe, actually. Yeah, he spun out in turn 2. It's the 8 car. A ton of damage to that car.
The whole decklet, yeah.
We'll go back and see what happens. He was racing with Terry Mason. Obviously, these tires were really starting to go away. He may have just gotten loose. We saw him lose out of turn 4.
Alan
We'll
Westman
see what happens into 1. Yeah, he was getting loose again. Trying to save it back up the track. Yeah, right there. Alan Westman piled right into him, had nowhere to go. Alan Westman just a victim of circumstances.
Should both be able to make it around the last couple laps here with no issue. So won't affect Alan Westman too much, I wouldn't say. Jimmy McKee, yeah, he's gonna drop a bunch of positions though.
We'll get one more look at this incident here for Jimmy McKee and Alan Westman. Again, you see the number 8 car loose on the bottom side, was trying to save it, came back up. Nowhere for Alan Westman to go on a huge hit into the outside wall for both. And again, this will end the race, ladies and gentlemen. That means with that caution coming out with just 4 laps to go, there are no green-white checkered restarts just yet in iRacing, which means Aiden Young just earned himself an NMNTS BA Graphix Cup Series. Still has to pace around for a lap and a half. God forbid something happens to the number 9. Not that anything should at this point. Spence Thompson going to back up a great run at Atlanta with a 2nd place here at Las Vegas. Bradley Wilson, he was my pick to win before the race. Had some struggles early on, came back for 3rd position though. Cody Spiker in 4th. Tyler Justice in 5th.
Clayton Kurtz able to hold on to 6th place tonight. Jared Beasley will be 7th. 8th going to Terry Mason. Put himself in a really good spot there for a top 10 tonight. Alan Westman, should he make it all the way around, will be 9th. Christopher Matthews 10th.
And we'll make sure to cover the rest of the results after the race. Looks like not Alan Westman. Craig Lerman, though, will come home in 11th place. Man, this race was just everywhere, it seemed like, at the start of the race. Ended up kind of calming down for a bit here, Brennan. We started out with a lap 5 incident. Jared Beasley got loose on the outside of Zach Lindgren, came down, pretty much cleaned the 85 out. There was nowhere for Zach to go, just a victim of circumstances, just like the number 17 of Alan Westman in that case. Later on, some clean green runs to finish out stage number 1, fully green in stage number 2, then a big wreck we saw with Ryan Daniels and Jerry Gillen. Took the 52 out of the race. The 14 rather continued on, and here we are. Again, Aiden Young, all he has to do is continue on through turns 3 and 4. In a race that was mostly green, lap 162 going to be ran under caution. Late race incident between Alan Westman and Jimmy McKee when Jimmy McKee just got loose out of turn 4, then got loose again down the front stretch. Lost control into turn 1, collected the 17, and caution came out with 4 to go. Aiden Young going to pace to the start-finish line to win for the first time in 2018. It's the number 9, Hope for Pause, Ford Fusion. We will, of course, bring the top 3 up for interviews. If there's anyone else that you want us to get a talk with, just let us know in one of the chats, and we'll try and get at least one of those drivers up here for an interview. Pretty quick race tonight. We've been live for just over 2 hours, and for being longer than last night's race, I think this went by pretty quick, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, pretty quickly, although last night's went by pretty quick too. Only, I think it's just, an incident or two outside of the stage breaks there, so Las Vegas pretty much incident free, so that's good to see from that.
Yeah, great stuff all around. Only 5 incidents aside from the 4 stage breaks between last night and tonight in the NMNTS SimSpec Championship Series and the NMNTS BA Graphix Cup Series on Monday and Tuesday nights. You can catch them here on Pitstop TV. We'll quickly check our race summary before we get the top 3 in for an interview. We ran 162 laps here from Las Vegas, 7 lead changes, only 6 cautions. 2 of those were for a stage break, sorry. We had the lap 5 caution with Jared Beasley, a couple of them in between, and to end the race we had one more, that one with Jimmy McKee and Alan Westman, only 19 laps of caution. Really fast race, really clean and green. A lot of laps ran under green tonight. A really big change from Sunday night's race at the Bull Ring.
I think a little bit of redemption maybe for Ryan Daniels to see a really good friend of his win, so maybe cheer him up a little bit tonight.
Yeah, hopefully that at least gets him in somewhat good spirits and not wanting to put his fist possibly through walls. You never know. I know he's pretty emotional when it comes to this stuff, and that's not going to help that big wreck a little while ago with Jerry Glenn.
Yeah.
Well, Brennan, whenever you're ready, I'll let you bring in Bradley Wilson, our 3rd place finisher, for a quick interview.
Ready. Hey, Brad, this is Brendan here in the PSI booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, 10-4, I got you.
Alrighty, bud. Well, kind of put yourself in a really good spot for that caution there, staying out at the right time. It's going to give you a good opportunity to come home third tonight. How'd that race go for you?
Oh, man, we, practice, I was kind of worried. We're a little off, and then qualifying, we hit on something. Able to pull a top 5 qualifying effort out. You know, first stage, we just kind of rode, saved tires. Did a lot of that through the first and second stage, picking up some stage points, and then, yeah, there was a little miscue there. I don't know. I was trying to get to pit road, and I guess some guys stacked up behind me. But, you know, unfortunate deal for a lot of guys there. But we definitely capitalized on that, and I felt like we probably had a top 5, top 10 car, and to bring it home in third feels pretty good.
Yeah, so we saw you most of the night. Really kind of Spence and Aiden kind of checked out for me the last little bit there, but a pretty good show you and Cody put on there for quite a while. That was a lot of good racing side by side for you too. That was really fun to watch.
Yeah, you know, like I said, we babied the tires a lot, and I saw a few guys, you know, get around me off the beginning of a run, and I could see people trying to eat up the middle to the bottom still, and we just kind of kept her high, wide, and handsome there, saving some tires. Then when we caught back to Cody, it was a good little battle there. I think we'd saved a little bit more than he had, and you know, there it was. We're happy about the top 3 tonight, but kind of that miscue on pit road. We don't like to see stuff like that happen, so it's a little bittersweet.
Yeah, definitely. Well, this is gonna bring it into this week for the NMNTS series. Next week we'll see the 2 races for the trucks and the car, or the A car at Phoenix. Any insight for how you think you'll do there?
Well, I mean, in the truck race there last fall, 2017, we led quite a few laps, qualified up front, which kind of gave us a lot of hope for going into this week. You know, this 2018 is the first time we've ran 2 races there. So under the lights at Phoenix is always exciting, especially with that open dog leg. It's gonna be one of them things where it's gonna be keep it out of trouble and keep the nose clean the first half, and then yourself in position for that 30 lap shootout there at the end.
It definitely will. I think we'll give you an opportunity here. You have any sponsors, anybody to help put the show on for you'd like to shout out?
Oh yeah, first and foremost we got to thank Oil Can Hancocks for all they do for us. Happy to have them on board again this year, and the Cup car as well. Check them out at www.oilcanhancocks.com. We'd also like to thank Discount Shop Towels, new to the car this year, but got some really great brands out there for anybody who may own an automotive business or just work on cars at home. You can check them out at www.discountshoptowels.com. You can also shop with our special promo code Thunder18, and that's going to get you 5% off your purchase there. And then, as always, man, I got to thank my smoking hot, beautiful wife at BA Graphix for making this thing look good going around the track.
Definitely, bud. Well, I think we'll get you moved back down. Congrats again on 3rd place tonight.
All right, brother. I sure appreciate it. Thank you guys up there in the booth for all you do as well, man. Put on a hell of a show.
Thank you for the kind words there. Get you moved back.
And now we'll get up. 2nd place, Spence Thompson. Spence Thompson's Xander Cardinale in the PSI TV booth. Do you have a copy?
Yes, sir, Andrew.
Well, Spence, one heck of a race for you. Didn't get any laps led. But you only led 4 last week to get it done in Atlanta, and you come home in the home stretch in 2nd place at Las Vegas. You were pretty quiet in the early stages, albeit running your tail off. How'd you kind of have the insight to keep running further for that caution and hang on to a 2nd place?
Yeah, as the runs went on today, I mean, we just had a heck of a time trying to save the tires tonight. That was one of our main struggles tonight. We just couldn't get the car to be able to rotate the center as the long runs went on. But yeah, it's a good strong run for the number 89 pit stop TV car tonight. Like I said, didn't really lead any laps tonight, but we still had a really strong race car. Can't complain really too much about that. But yeah, it was pretty much a struggle to be able to try to, prolong the wear of the tires tonight in this thing, because that just seemed like it was something that we struggled with all night. But like I said, still was able to kind of ride in the top 5 solidly all night long. Kind of fell back a little bit during that last segment, then we were able to pick it back up after the pit stop and then that caution. So yeah, like I said, can't complain too much, but still a good solid day and had a good finish.
Yeah, I mean, that number 89 was on rails for a little bit there in that last run. You started to fall off. We noticed that in the early goings, too. What was going on there?
Yeah, can you repeat? There was someone talking in the race sim there for a second. Didn't hear that last bit of the question.
Oh, no problem. We just noticed towards the end of that run, right at the end of the race, you started to fall off, lose some time to Aiden Young. We noticed that earlier on in the event, too. Can you give us some insight as to what was going on with the number 89 there?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a couple times where we were kind of line searching at the end to see if we can, try to force his hand to maybe try to make a mistake and try to see if he could, make any mistakes there at the end to try to see if we can close ground on him. But yeah, a couple times we would try to come off a low of turn 2 and we got a little bit sideways, and like I said, the main struggle for us going through 3 and 4 all night long, we just couldn't rotate the car through the center off there. So yeah, like I said, those were a couple of the 2 main struggles there. It was, loose at one end and tight at the other end, and just couldn't get the car to rotate. But yeah, a couple times during that last stretch, it definitely got a little bit hairy for us. We got loose a couple times, but we're still able to hang on to the race car and still had a good, strong finish.
Sounds good, Spence. Well, a great run to back up a really big win last week at Atlanta. And now you're going off to Phoenix, where I know you've had a little bit of success. Maybe not in the Cup car before, but at least in the NMNTS Racing Series. Are your hopes pretty high going into race number 4?
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, we definitely had some. We've had some good runs there. We've had a couple of strange moments happen over there, of course, in the trucks rather. But yeah, we're definitely looking forward to Phoenix as well, because like I said, definitely had some success there. We're looking forward to hopefully having a good solid day there to keep this keep our position up in the points, and hopefully we can kind of carry on from the trucks last night into Phoenix as well to try to gain a few more positions there. But quickly got to give a big thanks to all the guys on WFO Motorsports team tonight. All the support from you guys at Pit Stop TV for sponsoring this car. Big shout out to Bradley Wilson on his third place finish. All the WFO cars tonight. We had a whole bunch of good solid finishes tonight. Tough break for Zach though. I mean, it felt bad for him. He definitely had I think he could have had a strong car in this thing tonight. So, yep, like I said, just good night. Good solid top 3 finish, second place, and we'll go hopefully to be able to carry this momentum into next week.
Well, Spence, you totally read my mind. I was just about to ask you to shout out any sponsors you had, but good on you. You read my mind there, and yeah, we'll just watch for you next week at Phoenix. You'll be there in all 3 series. I'm not sure if you'll finally get to make a start or not in the Super Series, but hopefully we can see what you can do if you have a chance. Were you there Sunday night at the Bull Ring?
Yep, we actually were. We actually had a good solid top 5 run in that deal, and then the crazy melee at the end of it kind of took us out of what hopefully was going to be a top 5 finish in that deal. But nah, like I said, circumstances happened at the end of that one. So yep, it was a tough break at the end of that one, but we had a lot of positives come out of that one, and like I said, hopefully we'll be able to kind of sporadically kind of run a few of the races throughout the year in that series too. But like I said, and then real quick, thank you guys for the continued broadcast of this league every week, and you guys do such a good job up there. Andrew, I don't feel like you get enough credit for it, and because you do a heck of a job up there. And like I said, a big thank you again to sponsor this deal here.
Definitely appreciate those kind words, but also got to extend that out to Brandon. He's with me for just about every broadcast we do now, so that's definitely a huge help. So it's not just myself lending my voice to these streams. We'll get you moved back down, though, into the interview booth with... Actually, no, your teammate actually went down to WFO, so I was going to move you back down with Bradley. But we'll move you down either way to where Bradley is. Best of luck next week at Phoenix. We'll look forward to hearing from you.
Thanks again, guys. Appreciate it.
And Brendan, whenever you're ready, we can finally get our race winner, Aiden Young, up here.
Ready. But on close team speak almost there. Hey Aiden, this is Brendan up here at the PSI booth. You got a copy with us?
Oh, I got ya.
Well, bud, coming home first tonight. Our last talk with you was at the end of the stage there. Explain to us what happened there and how you ended up coming home at first tonight.
I just basically played the fuel strategy game. I know once those guys pit, I figured just stay out and hope for a caution. Come to my way, a caution came out, and I was thinking about pitting, and a couple laps there, and just drove away with it from there.
Yeah, definitely, bud. Well, we can say you definitely had the right place at the right time. Kind of not really a series you really gonna make too many starts. Then I think you kind of have something with Ryan that you guys do. So really good to see you come out there and put on quite a show tonight. Maybe a little bit of interest in coming in and doing some more A-car races then?
Yeah, certainly this sort of gets me motivated to come over here more, but we'll see. It all depends on what we're doing.
Yeah, bud. Well, Andrew, I'll open this up. You have any questions you'd like?
Well, Aiden, you certainly did a great job of just, you started 15th. You started back there with Ryan, kind of middle of the field. You did a great job of running through the field by the end of stage number 1. I think you were pretty close, if not into the top 10. How did you just manage yourself from then on to end up front by the end of that green flag fuel run when that caution came out?
Basically, I was just hearing Ryan and helping me get through it, just telling me to be easy, stay calm, and I just managed to save enough tires there at the end and came home with a win. It's simple as that.
We certainly did a great job of hanging on to it by the end of the race there. You led a total of 45 laps pretty much from that caution then on. And like Brendan said, we got to talk to you at the end of stage number 2 since we'd already talked to Mike and Tyler. Had no idea we'd be talking to you at the end of the race. But great job on picking up the win here tonight. Best of luck in Phoenix. Is there anyone that you want to thank for putting on the show in that number 9 car tonight?
And I just want to thank Hope for Pause, Jaeger Racing, Matt Walzenbach for watching the stream, Ryan Daniels for spotting me that whole last stage and telling me get the win, and the whole NMNTS Racing Series for putting this on, and you guys for broadcasting.
It's always our pleasure to come up here and call these races, and even more so when we get a surprise winner, because, I mean, you're obviously a great driver, but have had some bad luck in recent weeks trying to get into the NMNTS SimSpec Championship Series races, so it's kind of interesting to see you try your hand at the Cup cars, and it certainly worked out. Hopefully we see you back and in the show at Phoenix International Raceway, actually ISM Raceway now. Again, best of luck to you there in Avondale, Arizona. We'll talk to you again next week.
Thank you. Have a good night.
And again, that was Aiden Young from the number 9 Jaeger Racing Machine. And again, you know, he's had some trouble getting into the shows in the championship series on Monday nights. Really cool to see him come over here, pretty much like you said, on a one-off deal and just dominate the whole last run of that race.
It definitely put himself in the right spot. Just with, like we said, he kind of got a good break there. He just really was not kind of untouchable there. Spence really was the only one that was there, and he started to fall off towards the end, and Bradley was the next one back from there, and that was almost 4.5 seconds back. So Aiden Young really showed that he's definitely got what it takes to be out there up front. He really started to pull away from everybody.
Yeah, and I think we'll see more of that as Aiden hits his mid-season stride again. He won a few races last season on Monday nights. It's really interesting that he didn't have a charter going into 2018, but hopefully he can make some starts and get back into the way of last year in 2017 and try and get some wins, maybe even make the hunt. He's got, I believe, 2 or maybe even 3 races now missed, so he's going to have to really get on it in qualifying, but we'll see what he can do next week at Phoenix. For now, though, that's been Pit Stop TV. Let's quickly go through the results. Brennan, it's to you for the top 10.
Alrighty. Just got done with our interviews for our top 3. Aiden Young was first tonight. Spence Thompson in second. Third place is going to be Bradley Wilson. Fourth tonight was Cody Spiker. Good run for him. 17th to 4th. That was a good run. Tyler came up from 9th to finish 5th tonight. Clayton Kurtz started 21st to 6th tonight. That's a good finish for him. Jared Beasley fell back a little bit. Started 4th, came home 7th. Terry Mason up from 24th to 8th. That's a good run for him. Alan Westman up from 26th to 9th. So good run for both of them. And Christopher Matthews able to scrap out a top 10 out of this after he started 3rd.
In 11th, we'll have PJ Popham barely hanging on with a pretty damaged race car to an 11th position. Pretty decent given the circumstances. Jared Wishon comes home in 12th. Also very decent. Very good, actually, given the circumstances with all that front-end damage at the start of the race. Matthew McMeekin hangs on for 13th. James McKee ends up falling back to 14th with that wreck there at the end. Mike Bruno, 15th. Craig Lerman, 19th. They, I believe, both fell victim to some circumstances coming from late race pit stops. Mike Bruno lost a lap because of that caution. I think Craig Lerman had to come in possibly for fuel, just didn't have the fuel number calculated right, had to come back through. Derek Robinson, not sure what happened to him. Heiza ends up finishing 18th. He came in with Lerman. Gordon Larson Jr. comes home 19th. Jason Burgess in 20th.
21st tonight will be Trevor Harmon. We saw, as I mentioned a little earlier, he had some connection issues, unfortunately. Jerry Glenn just really had a rough ride tonight. I mentioned he dog walked for a while and he lost some connections. So 22nd for him. Zach Lindgren, another one, a name I mentioned, he decided to pull it in for the night. Comes some 23rd. Ryan Daniels, with that incident with Jerry Glenn, that ended his night. He finished 24th. 25th is going to be Michael Redding. I think, yeah, he dropped connection as well. Then Mark Broderick, 26th. So he had a lot of damage from that first incident. Not really too sure what happened to him from the rest of there, though.
Well, I know he had some connection issues earlier on today with the brand new iRacing update. Hopefully he gets that sorted out by next week's events at ISM Raceway. And again, ladies and gentlemen, make sure to come right back to Pit Stop TV for more NMNTS action. This time it will be from the ISM Raceway in Avondale, Arizona. It was previously the Phoenix International Raceway. And again, make sure to tune in, same time, same nights for each of those races. We'll be kicking it off with the PSI TV Super Series on Sunday night in the iRacing Super Late Models, followed by the NASCAR trucks on Monday night and the NASCAR Cup cars once again on Tuesday. It should be a great week of racing action. And Brendan, do you have any closing thoughts before we close up the night?
I have a quick question for you. Are they going to see any action from us Saturday night at the 12 Hours of Sebring? Or Saturday during the day, excuse me?
Well, I don't believe we'll be streaming to here, just in case, some words are slipped. That happens in racing sometimes when you're listening into the drivers. But we may stream our attempt of the 12 Hours of Sebring in the Mercedes AMG GT3 cars on Saturday, I believe. Saturday midday, pretty much. Over on my personal racing page, AC4 Racing. We'll probably stream it over there if we stream it at all. But last time it presented some issues. I think this time my computer's a little more stable, so we probably can race and stream. We'll see what happens, though. If you're looking to watch our perspective of Brennan and myself and David Levine and Zach Lindgren go at it for the 12 Hours of Sebring, just tune in again to AC4 Racing. I think you'll only get really the audio for Brennan and David. Zach and I will be in our own car running at Sebring, but we may even make the same split, so we'll have to see what goes on there. That's been Pit Stop TV, though. We'll see you back next week, possibly even this weekend. We'll see if we can get something worked out for Saturday night, but we will definitely be back with Five Flags action in the Super Late Model Sunday morning, followed by, again, the NMNTS Racing Series race weekend starting off on Sunday night. Again, this has been Pit Stop TV, Andrew Cardinale and Brendan Elshoff in the booth, and we will see you next time.